I have no idea what we're doing. All right, it's a concert. Welcome, guys. I'm here with Brockus, myself, and we'll have a couple latecomers probably roll in here. Maybe drunk, maybe not. Who knows? Here's hoping.
Oh, I gotta say, that was a much better opening than what I was expecting. But, you know, fuck it. Let's just keep rolling with that shit. So today we're actually going to be talking about a little fucking thing called irony and hypocrisy.
Ooh.
I don't know if anyone is aware of this, but recently a show has been announced to be rebooted. Joss Whedon created a TV show from years ago called Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's very popular, especially among feminists, apparently. And it was groundbreaking and wonderful. And, oh, it's so inclusive. Oh, people still praise it. I love this and I love that. I mean, it was an all right show. I don't think it was as great as people made it out to be. But in all honesty, who am I to really fucking, you know, just tell another fandom to chill the fuck out? I'm a huge fan of a lot of shit that gets a lot of shit. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care.
You're even a fan of shit
However,
that's never going to get another season.
I'm still sad and pissed off that fucking people like Anita Sarkeesian went online and bitched and bitched and bitched and bitched so much that I'm never going to get Keijo Season 2. It's a beautiful TV series. It's a beautiful anime about girls in bikinis just hitting each other with their butts and boobs. It's like a gift from the gods. Couldn't have asked for a better fucking show. You took it away from me.
Indeed. You can't have nice things, Brockus. You just can't have nice things.
Fucking bitches. Jealous bitches.
I mean, Nicki Minaj can make a song about the anaconda and shake her booty all over the place. That's perfectly fine. Oh, but artists wanting to make a funny little show about like girls in swimsuits beating each other with their tits and their ass. I mean, you gotta draw the line somewhere, I guess.
Yeah. Apparently, you just no. How dare you? There's a girl who hikes up her bikini bottom into her ass crack, wedging it up there so she can actually, go faster and everything like that. And there's another girl who twists her nipples and creates some sort of crazy, like, twisting energy beam that hits other women in the tits. And, oh, no, you can't do that. But this Beyonce video with so much sexual innuendo, that's completely fine. Beyonce can do whatever she wants. Slay queen, I guess.
I guess. I mean, back in the day, we called that husband hunting, but I mean, yeah.
All right. No, it's just I find it fucking annoying as shit because there are all these people out there that are going around, they're rebooting and remaking a bunch of stuff, a lot of classic nerd things. They're even currently hijacking a lot of our shit. Like Magic the Gathering, for example, has actually got a long-running history of having some of the most annoying white knights that you would probably ever run to when it came to tournaments and shit. But here's the thing. For the most part, you wouldn't even know that they were a bunch of white knights unless somebody actually did say something horribly derogatory towards a woman or a woman cosplayer. Look, for example, what happened when Jeremy decided to call one of their semi-famous, not really famous, kind of okay-looking, I'd still smash cosplayers when he said that he would still smash, but she's essentially a thought. The Magic community blew the fuck up.
You talking about Janice Sparkles?
I'm talking about the Sparkles hoe. Yes.
The definition of thought.
It was sad. And yes, she is the definition of a thought. What was even sadder was the fact that even though she made the accusations flung Jeremy's way, when she disappeared and then eventually came back very briefly, she actually told everybody, well, Jeremy didn't actually harass me. And also I made all that stuff up. So I'm going to take all of his Patreon money and I'm going to go to medical school and finish medical school like I originally planned. By the way, Jeremy didn't actually do anything wrong. I just don't like him. And then left again completely. And the goddamn Magic community still lost their shit on him, still kept him banned. They didn't want to admit that they had actually done anything wrong and basically just said, go fuck yourself, Jeremy, while people kept spreading lies, misinformation. Oh, yeah, and his docs.
Yeah, well, we'll also notice that Miss Sparkles, who promulgated some of these lies, who said a lot of these terrible things, who got this guy in some pretty hot water and get him like exiled from his favorite hobby of all time. No repercussions, nothing
Yeah.
whatsoever.
No.
She gets to walk, ruin a man's life, but gets to walk away scot free. That perfectly modern day feminism. That makes a lot of sense.
This is exactly what feminism wants. You know, they want the women to actually falsely accuse people left and right. By the way, I don't know if anybody's actually aware of this, but there have been several death and rape threats directed at Jeremy's wife since that particular incident. So I love how the feminists will still praise those actions and continue to praise those actions simply because a woman was attacked by Jeremy. He was so vicious. He made 2 videos where he called her a thought, one of which he said, I mean, I'd still hit it, but she's a thought. She's a thought. Like, that's, oh, it's so horrible. He said the worst thing ever. He called her sort of attractive enough to want to bang her, even though he has a fucking wife that's hotter than her. I've seen pictures. Jeremy, you know what I'm talking about. Your wife is smoking, and I'm a little upset that a fugly ass bitch like you has a hot ass wife like that. Like, what did you do, man? What chloroform did you use?
I think he. I don't know much about his wife, but what I do know is he does have his own business, and he does have some fairly good money. And I think he maybe beat her with a roll of dollars and all that stuff. I mean, I'm not saying. Look, I'm not going MGTOW here and saying she after the money. I'm just saying, a good booty spanking with dollar bills isn't gonna hurt you any.
We're not saying she's a gold digger. However, we are saying money was somehow involved.
And I do want to say I actually did know Jeremy Hanaway. I'm just being an asshole. I'm sure she's a wonderful person.
He's a troll. He does not care.
Okay, good.
I don't think you and I can say anything worse than the genuine fake beef that came out from Warski Live that eventually turned into real beef. I don't think anything we say is going to be worse than that. And even then, I don't think Jeremy gives a shit enough to actually continue giving a shit.
You know, the weird thing is that there are people out there, and I'm not saying they're white knights, but I think that there are some people who will stand in the defense of some people, and Jeremy being one of them. I know Jeremy himself totally can take it. Everything I've said here, I totally say to his face. But I mean, there are other people there who wouldn't quite feel the same way. So that's the only thing I'm getting at. I'm not saying that anyone in our audience, and I don't have the chat open right now, so sorry if you guys are saying terrible, awful things about me. Yeah, I forget where I'm going with this. We're going to go on to the other topic here.
Yeah, well, it's all within the same vein. It's all one general topic: hypocrisy and irony. And one of the main reasons why I even wanted to talk about this is one of the reasons why I even invited Ian Miles Chong, which most likely he has either forgot or is currently eating like a bowl of pasta, and his little tiny fucking fat Asian ass is sitting down looking at this screen while he's eating his delicious pasta bowl, is watching us fucking talk about this shit, and it's just like, you know what? This pasta is delicious. I don't know what. I went on a tangent to try to talk shit on Ian, but it didn't even work. Anyways.
I mean, you have to understand that Mongoloids have already been insulted plenty of times. They can take it.
I just realized what word you used. But yeah, so recently I had noticed something on Twitter that had me cracking the fuck up. Okay. Anita Sarkeesian had recently found out that Joss Whedon, along with some other people in Hollywood, has decided to go ahead and reboot the Buffy the Vampire Slayer franchise. And she's lost her shit on this. Now, mind you, Anita Sarkeesian has 100% backed up all the other remakes. When Ghostbusters was being called a reboot with an all-female cast, she backed it up. It did horribly. When Ocean's 8 actually got announced, because it's an all-female cast and it's a technical continuation in the Ocean's 11 fucking franchise, she was all for it. It didn't do as well as people expected it to, but she claimed it was everything she wanted it to be. I'm guessing it's because it was a group of females who, for half the movie, did not actually talk about men. One occasionally did throw a couple of little comments about her cousin Danny Ocean. Hint. But whatever, not a big deal.
Isn't that Ocean's movie? Isn't it starring the previous women from other Ocean movies? Like, isn't it technically a spinoff?
No. It's the Ocean's 8 movie. It's still tied into the Ocean's franchise. So Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, and Ocean's 13 are all tied into this movie, Ocean's 8. Except this is Danny Ocean's little sister, and she's apparently just as clever, or probably they consider her more clever than Danny himself. And she puts together a team that is very similar to what Danny Ocean had usually put together for his, thefts and all that stuff. But obviously, if you pay attention to it, whereas Danny Ocean needed 11 to begin with, his younger sister only needs 8. So it's like, oh, women can get it done just as good, and they don't need as many numbers, blah, 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 whatever. I don't know. I don't know what they were trying to do, but basically, yeah, the Ocean's 8 movie is supposed to be like, it's in the same franchise, but it's not a direct tie-in to any of the 3 movies, so to speak.
Okay, well that clarifies that. I, like everyone else, I never saw it, so
I didn't see it. I didn't have an interest in seeing it. I wasn't sure what it was, and I've never been that big of a Ocean's movie franchise fan. I saw Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, and Ocean's 13. I even saw half of the original Ocean's 11 with Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack. But I've never been a massive fan to where it's like, I gotta go and watch these movies. I usually just wait until it's on fucking cable, and then I'm just like, ah, shit, yeah. Kind of right at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, like, the Ocean movies have never really interested me, so. But then again, anything else along those lines has never really been my thing. I've actually, believe it or not, I have not seen a single James Bond movie. That's how little interest I have in some of these action movies.
Oh. Fair enough. To address what Thorne is asking, yes, Ocean's 8 is technically not a continuation. It's just in the same universe. It's not really continuing the story from Ocean's 13 necessarily. It's in the exact same universe. They mentioned the people from the Ocean's franchise because the main girl, I believe it's Sandra Bullock, is Danny Ocean's younger sister. But she's been in jail for X amount of time and such, and then she gets out and she plans a new fucking heist and all that stuff. That's the whole thing. It's not a continuation, it's not a reboot, it's not a remake, it's just a side story within a story. That's it. That's all it is. It's like, meanwhile, on the other side of the fucking planet, that whole thing. Like, if Danny Ocean and his friends were actually doing all their stuff, they're the Justice League. Ocean's 8 is technically a Young Justice thing. While this whole franchise and story is going on, they're doing this over here. Same universe, just they don't have a direct tie into each other, with the exception of obvious relationships with each other.
Okay.
Anyways, so that's basically what that was. Now, she loved the Ocean's 8 movie. Okay, cool, whatever, not a big deal. Or at least this, as far as I remember, that's actually what the whole process of Ocean's 8 was supposed to be. I could be wrong. She loved when she basically heard about the reboot of the fucking Thundercats Roar franchise. She loved hearing about this shitty reboot. She loved hearing about the She-Ra reboot. She loved all these reboots in which essentially feminism and social justice and political correctness has taken over franchises from the 80s, franchises that are beloved by many people and have a relatively big fan base and so on and so forth. She loves when they get remade in her vision, or, well, technically her vision.
Well, it's something along her lines of thinking.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
She loves it. She loves the shitty new artwork, the CalArts garbage that's creating the new She-Ra and Thundercats. She loves seeing all of these so-called toxic masculinity men and these easily hurt man ladies. She loves seeing all of us spurg the fuck out because we're fans and we don't actually know what we're talking about, and we're just a bunch of misogynistic pieces of shit, blah, blah, blah.
Well,
but the second one of her favorite franchises gets hit with a reboot, suddenly, oh no, don't do it. It's bad.
It's a bad, guys. It's a bad. Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we can pretty much know is confirmed at this point is that there's a type of revisionist history that they're trying to implement right now, and part of that revisionist history is also to revise fandoms and series that we think of. So the point, like when you think Thundercats, everyone's going to think this new thing. They're not going to think of the old one. When they think of She-Ra, they're going to think of the new one, not the old one, because that's going to be in the current lexicon of conversation because it's all new, it's out there. Well, with the exception, the flip side of that, like other shows like He-Man, people might think about the, 2010 He-Man series that came out. That wasn't a terrible show. I didn't particularly like it. But, I mean, that's still in the vein of the type of fandom and the type of things, the nostalgia that people like to go on. So, like, when it comes to some of those, it's okay to revise because they're trying to do revisionist history, is what I'm getting at. And with Buffy the Vampire Slayer, though, that's perfectly in line with their viewpoints, their politics, and everything along, and everything. As a result, why would you want to revise something that's in their wheelhouse that they like? They don't like that.
It's not even really that true. Sure, it has essentially LGBT representation because there have been several characters throughout the entire show's history that have actually been gay, lesbian, or bi. I think they even had one particular story of a trans character. They have a strong female lead throughout the entire franchise, and eventually the spin-off, which the strong female lead becomes a partial every once in a while side character to show up because, you know, Angel was actually the spin-off series and everything where there's the male lead and such. But that male lead for several seasons started off in Buffy. The only reason why that guy got his spin-off show is because of the massive popularity between him and Spike and shit like that. So they've had a lot of different topics that you could argue is feminist. But realistically, when you actually watch the show, it's fairly neutral in a lot of these so-called topics that are feminist. In fact, I think there was at one point an episode where Buffy kind of throws feminism in somebody's face and says, "Get that shit out of here." I remember that Buffy was actually a pretty good show. It was actually fairly positive. It did have some really good messages and shit, but it was not the holy grail TV series of feminism. That was Girls. That's what that show was, because it was led by one of the biggest cunts in feminism, Lena Dunham. And so, like, when you look back at the entire Buffy franchise, I don't think people were meant to look back and say this was a feminist iconic show. No, they were meant to look back and say this is so apolitical and so neutral in almost every fucking talking point that we have right now that it was good. But then again, I don't know. I didn't really watch Buffy all that much. I don't care. I see Thorne. I think she actually is a huge fan of the Buffy franchise and says that Buffy was not a feminist show at all. That I do remember several episodes when there was a so-called feminist character and the fucking gay character, Willow, I think her name was. She was played by Allison Hannigan. The gay character threw that shit back in her fucking face. Like, shut the fuck up. I may prefer women, but men are not that bad, you fucking bitch.
Is Thorne is she in the is she in the chat? And if so, do you want to come on and talk about it? It's been a long time since I've watched Buffy. And actually I was never a fan of Buffy because it's still that high school girl drama, other kind of stuff, and quick clips and all that, constantly joking. It just didn't really connect with me. But Buffy, I did play a
show about vampires in a time when I was starting to get tired of vampires.
But I actually like the spin-off show Angel, because here's a couple of guys put in charge of a demon-run law firm or something. Well, that was like season 3. But yeah, I actually had a lot more fun with that show because I think it was in LA, and it was just a very different lifestyle. Also, when they brought Spike into the show, and the two of them just went back and forth, constantly trying to kill each other, it was actually kind of hilarious.
No, fair enough.
Yeah.
I watched both Buffy and Angel, but I was never a huge fan of it or anything like that. Like, at that point in my life, I think I was obsessively watching as much anime as I possibly could, while also playing football, getting several injuries from football, then switching over to play baseball again because I played baseball before I played football. Eventually retired from that, and then I started smoking so much weed that I couldn't nothing could keep my attention except for movies like Super Troopers and fucking Dude, Where's My Car? I remember. Oh man, yeah, I was getting high a lot in those days.
Okay then. All right. Well, there's nothing wrong with burning it down. Is that the terminology? You can tell I've never smoked a day in my life.
No, fair enough. I guess you could argue that is something you would say in a sort of pothead lingo kind of way. I don't know.
I hear a couple of Snoop Dogg songs, and I think I know what I'm talking about. No, I don't know what the fuck. I don't know any of this stuff. In fact, you'd have to bring Schmeck on. I'm sure he'd know way more about that topic than anything.
I know all about drugs. I love Eminem's music. Wait, what?
God damn it! No. Eminem, he's fallen down the rabbit hole of anti-Trump stuff, and it is embarrassing to watch. It's like
that was the funniest one too. Actually, I think my favorite moment of Eminem with the anti-Trump shit was when Trump basically just ignored him, and he fucking spurted out because of it.
Yeah, he was expecting to get some sort of reaction. Like, nah. He's not going to bother. Yeah. The whole people going up against Trump thing. It shows you who's truly lost their minds in this whole situation, and that alone has made me like go, oh God, thank you for Donald Trump, because things have been different. Hey, it's Thorn.
What up?
Hey.
Did you just call her Storm?
No, I called her Thorn.
Oh, for some reason I thought you called her Storm, and I was just like, oh, great. Yeah, no, give the audience another thing to fap to. Just the idea of Thorn in a fucking Storm costume.
Just tight latex.
I don't think
there you go, have fun, chat. There you go.
Well, you gotta be careful with this shit.
Don't blame weed for you. Like, dude, where's my car? Hey, I was not thinking straight. I will blame weed on anything I can. Mostly it was the alcohol as well. I drank way more than I smoked pot.
No, but apparently I've had 2 people insinuate that I'm slightly racist for not liking the fact that the reboot's going to be a race swap. I didn't even notice that fact.
Well, I hear that there's a reboot, and the thing is, the way things have been going with reboots, it's not been good. If I had to say,
that's why the race swap also worries me, because this is not, it's not been a good thing. It's not been good writing. It's been very heavy-handed on the politics.
If I had to say, like, in the last, let's say, 3-4 years, maybe even 5, the only thing good in the way of a reboot that I could actually say would have to be the Voltron series on Netflix, and possibly, it was okay. The reboot of Spider-Man, Tom Holland.
You know what looks really good? 2 reboots that actually look really good. They're doing a Scooby-Doo reboot of the one with the Hex Girls, and it looks like the animation actually looks really, really good. It looks just like Hanna-Barbera would have done it, and the Hex Girls look good. And there's going to be a short mini-series of Invader Zim.
I did see that.
Invader Zim looks
Hex Girls
great.
Based on a famous all-girl rock band?
They were. I forgot the name of the rock band, but they were.
Wasn't it Earth, Wind, and Fire?
There's definitely an reference to them, but I don't think that's who they were based on.
I'm just ballparking that one. I don't actually know.
I would prefer, instead of a reboot, why can't they just continue the universe instead of taking like almost 2 decades worth of material and burning it down? Because it continued as a comic when the show ended, right?
I think part of the reason why they do the reboots is because, one, they can hire new actors and younger and cheaper. Because if you bring back the old actors, they're gonna obviously demand more money, because that's just how it works each time you get brought back. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. has got to be, he has to have enough money to probably buy a small country by now. If you want to, I dread that idea. So if you do a reboot, recast, then you're good to go. That's just like one of the many aspects that it could be. I think also because if you reboot it, you can make changes that you might want to. Oh, it's Magnus.
Yep. Apparently, whenever the phone is required for use for this crap, you can't send me a Hangout link because all it does is open the Play Store. Would you like to download Hangouts? And it's like, no, I've already got it. Thanks. And you hit open, and it takes you to the fucking Hangout store again.
Yeah, they like what Pat is saying in there is like, you're right, Pat. Because they're Slayers, they could start an original. That's what I would like to see.
Well, didn't something happen in the Buffy series that had created more Slayers? There
was 2 at one time, but I don't think that there's ever actually supposed to be more than 1. It's just that somebody got brought back to life.
Okay, Samaj, I hate to think we have to have this conversation now, but I'll explain it to you carefully, okay? A mommy dad Slayer and a daddy Slayer have a special hug. 9 months later, there's another Slayer.
It's not how that works.
I have no idea what I'm fucking talking about.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to start talking about well, when you have 2 lady Slayers, they take a stake and they go in and out the downstairs very fast, and
yeah.
Well, that would be why Buffy had that one special one she called the double dong steak.
God, there has to be a Buffy porno out there. There has to be.
There are several.
Dude,
there are several Buffy pornos out there. Do not actually think the internet failed you on that one.
Well, I do have to reiterate for those who forgot, there is the infamous Rule 34.
Sometimes I forget.
It wasn't even just Rule 34. It was every porn company in any fucking goddamn venue across the world just decided, what's really popular right now? Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You know what happens in that show? She has a sexual relationship with a few vampires and some guys, and she's like this famous vampire slayer and all that stuff. Also, there's a lesbian, a werewolf dude, but the lesbian was dating the werewolf before she went full fucking lesbian. And then there's all these other characters. How about we do a show or a parody movie or a series of movies where we basically have all of that shit and they just fuck each other?
I mean, that's like every porn movie.
Well, and let me take a wild fucking guess at the title. I believe they called it Buffy the Vampire Layer.
Could be.
At least one of them, anyway.
I wouldn't be surprised. I also know that the fucking Buffy the Vampire Slayer comic book is still an ongoing thing.
It's still going, yeah. It never stopped.
I swear, I hate my computer sometimes.
Oh, you know what I want to see? I want them to make the Spike show that they were talking about. That's only because I want to see James Marsters with his shirt off a lot more.
I will say
what they decided to do with James Marsters is ruin his fucking career by having him play King Piccolo in that really shitty live-action Dragon Ball movie.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, he was probably like, wait, fuck, I get to be Piccolo? Yeah, I love that shit. Oh.
And then he probably watched the movie and he was like, "This is the worst mistake I've ever made in my entire career."
It really was. But here's the thing: I think he might actually be a vampire because he still looks the same.
Maybe. I don't know if he's even still around. I know that some actors have just decided I'm done with it. Like, who was that? I can't remember the name of that. I think it was Draco or whatever from the Harry Potter movies. That kid, that blonde hair kid.
Tom Felton.
He's out of movies altogether.
Yeah.
And he's actually a recording producer now. He helps musicians get started. Does a lot of indie stuff. I think he's still going at that. So.
Tom Felton will be back eventually. Do not get it twisted. The man has such a massive fan base that I'm pretty sure eventually he will make his way back into movies, except he wants the whole Harry Potter stuff to die down and eventually make his way back into acting, only because any movie that he tried to actually do after Harry Potter, it was worse for him than it was for Rupert Grint, Daniel Radcliffe, or fucking oh my god, Emma Watson. Those three are the three biggest names, and they have the three biggest fan base, and it always comes back to Harry Potter. Tom Felton, on the other hand, what?
Actually, Brockus, but keep in mind, Emma Watson's the one that went fucking bahooties because she got to stand in front of the UN bitching about feminism being a dirty word.
Yeah, and Daniel Radcliffe just embraces all of the nerdiness. Like, he doesn't give two shits about it. Rupert Grint continues to do acting, but he does it more on the UK specifically or independent circuits. Tom Felton, however, he got typecasted as a couple of villains in a couple of movies after Harry Potter, and he didn't like that. So he probably walked away because anytime the fucker would show up anywhere, somebody would bring up Harry Potter, and it's just like, can you not? Can you not do that?
Not be Draco Malfoy for one fucking day, people. Well, and don't forget that Jake Lloyd absolutely fucking hates Star Wars anymore.
Oh yeah.
Because apparently being Anakin Skywalker ruined his fucking childhood.
That ruined his fucking life.
Well, yeah. I've been getting hearing that a lot for all the other people, even the new Star Wars movies. A lot of the actors are like, "Yeah, can we?" I forget the actress plays Rey, but it sounds like she really doesn't want to do Star Wars anymore.
Daisy Ridley.
Thank you, Daisy Ridley.
And
it sounds like she's like, this is a sinking ship. I want out.
Well, if they hadn't have let fucking Ryan Roundhead goddamn Johnson get his mitts on the fucking Star Wars franchise, we probably wouldn't be having these fucking conversations now, would we?
I feel bad for the actress that plays Rose because she doesn't deserve that. She actually seems like she's a decent actress. She just has some really bad fucking writing.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. A bad writer or a bad director can ruin an actor's fucking career very quickly.
Yeah, she doesn't deserve this.
You're the actor. You're the face of the shitty writing and shitty directing that's being presented on the screen. What can you do to salvage it? I mean, you can bust your ass, working your ass off through the whole fucking movie, but by the end of it, the end product is going to reflect on you because yours is the face on the fucking packaging.
Well, yeah,
she is trying so hard, and you can tell.
Look at Hayden Christensen with the prequels. He got more flack than Jake Lloyd did, but Jake Lloyd's flack was so fucking bad that it inevitably caused a mental breakdown for him. At least that's what I think is the actual correlation between his mental breakdown. And that might have been a road he was on his way to anyways, but I'm pretty sure the Star Wars franchise did not fucking help. But Hayden Christensen got it worse than Jake Lloyd because he was in 2 of the prequel movies and everybody despises his version of Anakin Skywalker and stuff. But then you watch him in Takers and it's like, where the fuck was this, Hayden? What kind of... And then you realize, oh my God, it was Lucas the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, he was a kid. Like, what do you want?
And also, yeah.
So, Brockus, you basically had that Scooby-Doo moment where it's like, let's see who the bad guy really is. George Lucas.
Yeah, you couldn't tell from all that fucking innate fucking dialogue between he and Padme, man. It was like, holy shit.
Don't forget I rate prostate. I hate saying.
No, exactly, man. That is, I lost more weight during those movies because I kept throwing up everything that I ate when I would watch it. It was just it was horrible.
Well,
And
you
the-
gotta remember, guys, I was a teenager when all 3 movies had actually come out. I think I was a young adult at the time. By the time episode 3 had come out, but I was essentially a teenager for episodes 1 and 2. So I didn't really know any better. I wasn't that big of a fan of movies. I just watched movies and liked them. Blah blah blah. I eventually came to the realization of what bad acting truly was years later. I eventually came to the understanding of what bad writing truly was years later. I'm still technically learning what bad is and what schlock is and stuff like that. Like there's an obvious difference between bad writing and schlock. Schlock, you're not supposed to take it seriously.
Funny. Yeah, schlock is
never meant to take it seriously.
Here's the one thing though that I've discovered over the years, just from having seen so many of them. Bad writing and bad directing can ruin a movie. It doesn't matter if the actor's good or not.
Yeah.
But now, if you get the ultimate trifecta of bad acting, bad writing, bad directing, all together in just the right mixture, it can actually make a cult classic.
Trolls 2.
Absolutely.
That's how we got Trolls 2.
No, that is how we got The Room, the greatest movie to ever existed. Fight me! I don't even.
What movie? The what?
The Room.
The Room.
It is the
that
of gold. The bad acting, the bad writing, the bad directing.
No. The Room is what happens when you have that trifecta and throw a lot of money at it.
That's true.
Wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Is Mark Como in the chat?
Yes.
Oh, hi, Mark.
He is one of the reasons why I even brought it up. Oh, hi, Mark.
That's the whole reason that fucking Tommy Wiseau is even as famous as he is. His acting was so bad and that movie was so shit that he became a beloved meme just instantaneously.
I think it's all deliberate. I think he saw Ed Wood and he said, that's the ticket. I'll become the Ed Wood for this generation. So I don't count it. I think if you want the movie to do it, the movie has to be done seriously. And it has to be a serious work by a guy that believes he's got a work of art on his hands, like fucking Ed Wood, man. Ed Wood backed his shit. Okay, you got to admit.
Hey, so guys. So when you have good directing, good acting, and good writing, and no money, do you get The Evil Dead?
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well,
you get The Evil Dead when people are just really fucking high and they have Bruce Campbell and they say, Bruce, I have an idea for a movie. And Bruce says, stop, Raimi. I know exactly what you want to do. I'm in. Let's make a franchise out of this bitch.
And let's not forget The Evil Dead 2 was basically not a frame for frame, but almost a dead-on remake of the first one.
It was.
And all they did was change the circumstances. They changed, they just changed enough that it was its own movie. And that movie I will watch to this day.
Yes.
Just because they did shit in that movie that it's like, this is supposed to be a horror movie, but holy fuck, these scenes are funny.
I love how Mark even plays into it with his, I did not hit her. I swear I did not.
What about when the lamp is, laughing and shit, and he's like doing his head up and down, and the scene with the hand, man, that's all classic shit, man. And that's all.
His old hand flips him the fucking bird from a mouse.
Now, funny as hell. I have to admit something. When I had actually watched The Evil Dead a while ago, I eventually on a stream did confess that I don't like The Evil Dead because it was crap to me, blah, blah, blah. I gave it another look not too long ago and realized the goddamn beauty of it all.
I know.
And I was just like, what is wrong with me? It's like I have these stupid fucking elitist blinders on when I watched it the first time all the way through, even though I had seen it as a kid. And I'm just like, I feel so hurt.
Okay.
Because it's so bad. It's so good.
Fun fact?
Wrong with me?
Okay. Here's a fun fact. When I first saw The Evil Dead, it was at 2 a.m. and I was on 3 days with no sleep. So at first I thought I hallucinated the entire movie.
Well, and let me go ahead and put it this way. I remember the first time I saw the Rocky Horror Picture Show as a kid. I thought that movie was complete and utter shit. And then years later, somebody took me to see it with like a live performance where they showed the movie. People screamed shit at the screen. And from that point on, I went and saw it every fucking weekend for like 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw it under the same circumstances the first time and I hated it. And then I saw it like 2 years later with the people and with the, the whole, lips, everything, and I loved it. Yeah, same exact experience, man.
I almost became the king of AP at our theater, which AP is audience participation for those of you who don't know. But because I walked out of that theater every weekend and I couldn't speak for like the first half a day every Sunday because I was just through the whole movie. I was screaming at the top of my lungs all the lines and shit. And
yeah.
I
have a confession. I still don't like Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I've seen it 4 times.
That's kind of weird because I would think that you would actually
of all people, right?
You would dress up as Dr. Frankfurter.
Of all people, and I love
the
Tim
irony.
Curry, but I don't like it. It's not that I hate it. It's just that it's not my thing.
Fair enough, I guess. A lot of people loved Repo, the genetic opera, or whatever the fuck it was called. A lot of people liked it. I watched it, but I don't like it because the majority of the time I was watching the fucking movie, I had to deal with 2 incredibly drunk ladies who, one exploded in the bathroom and puked after having a massive cry fest. And the other one, I don't know what the fuck she was doing, but she apparently could not stand upright ever. And the smallest thing, like an ant on the fucking carpet, made her trip over.
So heroin?
I don't know. It turns out both of them were also meth heads, so that's why we kicked them out of the apartment.
That explains a lot. So possibly heroin?
I just didn't have a good time, so it's one of those movies where I should probably give it another try, see if I like it. I might like the music,
I have a theory.
But I just have to say, Repo is probably one of the dumbest and most pretentious fucking stories I've ever seen.
I have a theory. It's that I don't like musicals.
Are you saying Repo Man?
No, not Repo Man. Repo, the genetic opera. It's essentially it was supposed to be better than Rocky Horror.
And Brackus, Samaj, for those of you in here who probably, I don't know if you guys have talked about it elsewhere or if anybody's really mentioned it. I was the one that brought it up on Revelations earlier today, but so Anita Skeezy Sleeves is bitching about the reboot to.
Yeah, we were talking about that. That's why I'm here, because I actually like Buffy.
Yeah. That was actually the main topic.
See, here's the funny part. Here's the part that gets me. Anita's bitching about it, and it's like, why? Isn't it exactly the stupid shit you constantly gripe about our fucking video games?
We found her holy grail. No,
I think
found her fucking holy grail. That's why she's freaking out.
I think part of the problem with that is, like, one, they are recasting Buffy to be a black woman, and I think she's a little sore about that because the last time she bitched about diversity and inclusion and stuff of the like, I think, what was it, like Battlefield or whatever, where they had introduced like a black Nazi woman who was also crippled. I think she feels a little sore.
Am I the only one that doesn't give a fuck that it's going to be a black chick? I don't want white chick, black chick, purple chick. I don't want them to reboot Buffy at all.
Well, and I had to. Your boy Pat had made a tweet about it, and I had to add my little jab, which I fully expect I'm probably blocked by Anita by now. But I said, "Oh, it's all fun and fucking games until other people start shitting on something you like, huh?"
Exactly, though. I mean, that's exactly what the point is that, you know, when it's her stuff, oh, don't touch my shit, right? You know, but it's the old joke that George Carlin used to say, remember that everybody else's stuff is shit and all your shit is stuff, right? You know, don't touch my stuff, but put your shit over there. It's that kind of thing. Go ahead.
George Carlin was right. George Carlin was actually as right. He was always right about all that shit.
No shit.
That's the funny part. I mean, all your shit is stuff. All my shit is stuff, and all your stuff is shit.
So the bitching witch just reminded me. There's also a Charmed reboot because this is something
I
no
know.
one fucking asked for.
They're lesbians. They're fucking lesbians. I laughed so goddamn hard.
Wait,
Yeah, they're all-
No,
There's
they're
a
all
Charmed
Hispanic
reboot, and the
guys.
three sisters are lesbians
they're
now?
Latino
No,
lesbians.
they're all Hispanic lesbians.
Oh, fucking Christ.
So not only is this a reboot that we didn't fucking ask for, no one asked for it. I watched Charmed and I didn't ask for this.
So did they get the writer for America to do this one from
Oh my god, I hope
Marvel?
so. I will watch it just because just to watch the dumpster fire burn.
Maybe they go to Sotomayor College and shit. You know?
Oh, Furry and Finley says don't touch Xena. Don't give them ideas.
Xena.
Oh, that's another one. Oh my god. No. Look. I shit you not. For the love of Christ, with all these reboots, with all these supposed feminine positive fucking shows, I actually did kind of watch Charmed. Again, that wasn't a feminist show. You need to chill the fuck out, so-called feminists. But I want them to now take Xena the Warrior Princess franchise and push it forward for a reboot, remake, and all that stuff.
No.
I need this now because I want all of their fucking prized shows. I want everything they've ever fucking praised in the past to come back as a reboot and be completely destroyed as they have done with ours. I want them to feel my pain.
Make her a trans.
Fucks!
Make
Yes, I like
Xena a
these
trans.
too.
Look,
No. Suddenly we're gonna have a black chick in Greece somehow.
look,
let's
all
go
these.
ahead.
I'm
Go
just
ahead,
saying,
Smudge,
like,
I'll say
all these reboots are starting to get predictable. You have to, after a while, you do have to start making things a little bit more interesting, throw in some new twists, throw in some new something. Or so for the Xena reboot, I propose that instead of the Warrior Princess, or actually we'll keep it the Warrior Princess, but we do have to, get a man in the dress, and we have to address the trans issues. So we're going to have Hercules, Xena Princess.
Well, let me go ahead and put this out there. Like,
I'm gonna leave.
two of the shows I've loved as a kid have been rebooted in my lifetime. One multiple times, and one only once. And I don't know if anybody can go ahead and name them just from what I'm talking about, so I'll go ahead and say it. Transformers has been rebooted fuckloads of times in different incarnations, and they're usually hit or miss. The anime versions are absolute shit, but usually the American ones are pretty good.
Teenage Mutant Ninja
Now,
Turtles
that-
has actually been rebooted more times than Transformers, and most people never really cared.
Well, but I'm talking about stuff that people actually give a shit about. And Thundercats was the other one. And I had absolutely no problems with the reboot. I watched it, and when they quit after, what was it, season 1?
Yep.
I was like, well, where's the rest of the fucking show? I want to see what happens.
They cut it for a cheaper to animate show.
Fuck, yeah, I know. Well, I mean, I could probably name off the top of my head several of the Transformers shows that I've seen rebooted that.
God, there's so many.
Sorry, go for it.
I was gonna say I could probably name the few that were just absolute shit, but for all the ones that were absolute shit, they've had a lot of them that were really good. I mean, for fuck's sakes, I sat there and I caught, like, because I've got nieces and nephews, and the nephews are big in the kids version. I've seen Transformers Rescue Bots, and I was like, oh god, this is gonna be just some fucking kids version of the show, but. Then I actually sat down and watched it with them, and I was like,
It's okay.
that's actually not that bad.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's okay.
Not great. It's not great. It's not very... It gets dark in certain spots, but not as bad as, like, Transformers Prime did.
Bitching Witch has the best idea ever.
What's that?
We know it needs to be rebooted. Celebrity Deathmatch. I want it.
Yeah, please.
We all know that to anyone who didn't know, I mean, the problem with the Thundercats, the first reboot one in the 2011, was that they couldn't figure out the audience for it, so they kept shifting around when it was on. It confused the hell out of people, and most people who did want to watch it couldn't because they didn't know it had moved. But people who did watch it actually really did enjoy it. So there could be some hope for Thundercats, but I think that they need to air it on a platform that people can readily view it. and that's probably Netflix.
No, now that we have Tumblr Cats barf, there's no going back.
Tumblr Cats, no!
Yeah, Tumblr Cats, no. That's it. That works. No, well,
See, that was the line that they had officially crossed with me. That's look, they have tried to fucking kill the video game industry by bitching and bitching and bitching and bitching, but they have failed miserably because look at what happened when they complained about the pose that Tracer was in. By the way, Tracer at that point was not outed as a lesbian character. Tracer was just a sexy character that everybody was really enjoying pictures of because, let's be honest, we're dudes. We're going to be attracted to the attractive girls.
Something, Tracer, booty.
Yeah, and they bitched and bitched and bitched. So what did Blizzard do? They said, all right, fine. For you, we will take this picture away. Then gave us an even more sexualized pose of Tracer with one leg up. And I was just like, yes, Blizzard.
So Blizzard's response was, go fuck yourself.
Blizzard's response wasn't just go fuck yourself. Blizzard's response was go fuck yourself with a rusty knife, and I hope you get tetanus, you stupid cunts. Blizzard will not cave.
And then they kicked all the guys that made her their waifu by making her a lesbian, and they all started screaming.
Oh,
and
that was the best
Tracer is
part.
my favorite Overwatch character because she pissed off everybody.
Here's the best part. They went too far. The fans went too far because they Rule 34'd the shit out of her and Black Widow. Like, they basically put her in so many Black Widow Fuda fucking stories in their Rule 34 stuff and everything like that. And then when Blizzard finally came out with her bio and made her a legit lesbian, the fans threw their fucking arms at them. It was like, it was a joke. We were just fapping to it. Wait.
Yeah, but they always meant to make her a lesbian.
Here's the funniest part, though. Black Widow still hasn't been changed to be a lesbian. Black Widow is still just a fucking a bitch who just has no interest in wanting to fuck anyone, but she's straight. She actually has an attraction to men.
Yeah, she used to have a husband who she unfortunately killed, and she's still mourning, and that's why she's a Black Widow. And also the chemicals that change the pigments in her skin.
Widowmaker, that was
Widowmaker. That the chemicals that gave her the stuff that changed her skin. It sounds like it also lowered her sex drive. She pretty much has no desire for sex whatsoever.
Widowmaker doesn't have any feelings of any kind for anybody.
Except the urge to kill. She loves the urge to kill.
Well,
exactly.
And, when we were talking about Tumblr Cats Barf, I got a point that I've been trying to make as far and wide on the internet as I possibly can, especially to kill off the stupidest argument they have about these reboots, is, okay, every last one of us in here, our childhood is set in stone. No, assholes, you are not fucking ruining our childhood. Our fond memories of our favorite shows are still there. They are set in stone. They will be with us for life. Now, here's where the problem comes in. It's not that you're trying to ruin my childhood with these reboots. What you are forcing me to do is to explain to all the children in my immediate family how you assholes are bending their childhood over a barrel and fucking with no lube and no mercy.
Speaking of which, Bruni, we will not be having a waifu war in the fucking chat, so don't bring that shit around here. You have been warned.
Oh, by the way, Brockus, I should probably warn you. I now have over 400 of those lewdy waifu wallpapers I make.
That's not a warning. That is giving me a heads up, and now you must send them to me. Anyways,
I've been told I'm the creepypasta waifu.
You are a lot of people's waifu. Let's be honest. Like when it comes to basically, if I was to do the thing, because it was just funny, if I was to do the whole when I talk about wanting a goth girlfriend, this is what I mean kind of thing, because that stupid shit just exploded and stuff. I was gonna take one of your pictures of you being goth and just upload it and be like, when I talk about wanting a goth girlfriend, this is the kind of goth I mean. Legit goth. Black
God damn it! We can't have a waifu war on the gun stream with two goth chicks. Okay, all right. It's bad enough I've looted the fuck out of missing on.
Is she gone?
What is it with the cunt stream?
Announce goth?
We either always have either the goth / metalhead chicks on stream or the really eccentrically weird ones.
I'm both.
You don't bitch about me being a metalhead, so.
Well, I was putting Vamp in the metalhead
Cool.
category. When you bring up and can quote Gwar songs, you are officially a metalhead in my mind.
Gwar! Sorry.
Song of Words is still my absolute favorite Gwar song ever.
I don't know what's wrong with me right now.
Well, I remember when they had Gwar on a fucking daytime talk show. It was like,
Oh my
I
God.
think it was like Jerry Springer or fucking Geraldo or some shit.
Anybody, all right, does
Bird, I
anybody
said
know,
lose when.
where did Gwar get their name?
Oh, it's an acronym. God, what an awful racket.
No. It's from The Watchmen.
Really?
Gay women against rape. Yes.
Really? That's fucking amazing. I didn't actually realize. I thought that was an acronym. Just like KISS's acronym is supposed to be Knights in Satan's Service, where
Technically
they
it's still an
intentionally
acronym.
did that.
Technically still an acronym.
No, they really wanted to call themselves fuck, but they couldn't get away with it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. KISS is just KISS. That didn't mean anything. But yeah, Gwar is Gay Women Against Rape from the Watchmen. You know how they're like always in the background, and the knotheads, the teenagers and shit. And so, yeah.
Okay.
They're just proving who they are, man.
All right, I have to bring up. Did you ever have to go to church as a young man and hear all the weird acronyms they would come up with for all the different metal bands that were around at the time?
Oh, well, see, I'm an old motherfucker, and by that time that was going on. I grew up. I was raised Catholic to begin with, but B, I was like way out of church by that time.
Oh, I got to go to all the fucking revival meetings where the Slayer stands for Satan laughs as you eternally rot. Also, we are Satan's people and all this fucking shit. And
that just makes it seem so much cooler.
Well, hang on though. Here was the funny part: that if you flip Dio albums upside down, you can see the word devil in the calligraphy of his name. And I'm sitting there looking at all this, and I'm like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I thought Dio said the same thing upside down. As it's like one of those ambigrams, isn't it?
The calligraphy is you flip it upside down. It says Dio.
It's more like a fucking like an optical trick where I mean if they hadn't pointed it out to me, it'd have been just a bunch of fucking gibberish to me, really.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, when you play Zeppelin backwards, you know, there's no escaping it. Here's to my sweet Satan. And I mean, really, you know, I guess if I like, you know, got stoned enough and I listened to it just a certain way. But I remember, you know, taking the turntable and going, you know, it didn't sound like music.
Actually, I have to admit the best joke for that was in Little Nicky, where he took what was it, Chicago, and started
I've always wanted to try that. I know it's bullshit, but I'll go to like my electronics store. They actually have record players there.
Oh, we got one.
Do you guys have a copy of Chicago?
Oh, I actually ended up with the record player.
Oh, okay.
I actually love that part in the movie where he starts doing that, and the two metalhead guys are, dude, that Chicago's badass.
Hey Thorn, if you have a record player, maybe you can find a copy of Chicago, and we'll do an opening like that, and we'll start talking about Satanism and all that kind of stuff. We'll talk about what that means.
Do they know which Chicago album it is?
Oh shit! I have to watch Little Nicky again.
I'm not totally sure that it works, but
I only cranked like 20 of them out. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we can figure that one out. I mean,
I found it.
What, the Little Nicky?
No, the record player.
624.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to try that. If you do, then we'll devote all to talking about Satan.
I think it's 25 or 624 is the name of that song. It's got one of those wicked fucking dun, dun, dun,
oh.
Dun, 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 dun.
I think I can reverse the song actually on my computer if we really wanted to do that.
You could. We'll do a comparison of the two, but no, it has to be a record, okay? And if you can't find a copy of it, maybe we can crowdfund it.
Yes.
I get all my demonic messages by watching Magog's video, so I'm good.
You know what I actually want to do one of these days, if Magog will allow me to do it, is I want to eventually get like my own little set, kind of like a medieval, like, you know, noble, all that shit. And I sit there and I read as though I was reading off like, you know, stories or something, like, you know, it's story time kind of thing. But I'm reading it just like, yes, like a proper English gentleman. But I'm actually reading the lyrics to various Gwa songs.
Oh, no, what you need to do is dress up like an orc and do that.
I would love to do that as an orc nobleman kind of character type thing. Like, I would love to do all of that shit. But like, could you imagine me just dressed up as an orc with the orc makeup, all that stuff, and I'm just sitting there with like a book in my hand, and I'm just sitting there reading. In the keep of Gwa, much torment remained, despite all the bodies hacked and slain.
You would have to, just to keep that going, you would have to delve into the world of Manowar too, because...
Oh, I would eventually do it with a bunch of different metal bands, like where I'm just reading off their lyrics as if they were actual poems and sonnets and shit like that.
You have to admit, you would have to, at the end of like the most nasty, brutal ones, just wipe tears from your eyes. That was the most beautiful thing I've ever read.
I was thinking about doing something like that with Devil Driver's song.
Oh God, we need some black metal too.
Dude, you guys need to see this shit. I was all right. You know, they do the School of Rock competition now, right? Where they have all these like kids from all over the United States, man, and they do a competition. I guess it's for money for their schools or some shit. And there's this one of this group of kids doing Victim of Changes by Judas Priest, right? And it's a little like fucking 9-year-old girl singing it, and it is fucking awesome. I mean, she can't really hit the really high parts, but I mean, it's fucking good. I mean, they get it perfect, man. It was blowing me away. And
you have to admit, most heavy metal singers have to have like some kind of clamp around their nuts to catch those high notes. Because I was going to say, I can do like most of the really grunty parts, but when they get that metal shriek going,
yeah,
I can't do that without both of my nuts hurting.
And probably your throat.
I've actually met quite a few metal singers in the past. Fucking Randy Blythe was actually one of them, and almost every one of them, when asked the question of like, how are you able to do your growls, how are you able to sing like that, so on and so forth, they usually say one of two things. Either A, you have to feel like there's a vice on your balls, and that's where it's all coming from, that type of growl, otherwise you're gonna fuck your voice up. Or B, one of my personal favorite ones, there was a metal singer from a local band who said, anytime I do that, I basically have to tense my body up like I'm taking a massive shit. I couldn't see that. Laughing. I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, to be honest, I think that Robert Plant was guilty of this. I think they cheated in the studio, and they would probably, drop the speed of the tape or speed it up, so they could put it in a different key, so they could hit the really high, especially like the Immigrant song, because if you listen to it, it really doesn't sound like he's singing in the normal key he sings in. I don't know. That's something I've always wondered with some bands. And
go ahead.
I was going to say with Rob Halford, he could actually sing that shit early on in his career, but by the time he was in his late 30s, he had blown his shit out, but he could still hit those squeals because he was screeching, he was singing through through the back of his throat.
Thorn,
well,
I have a question.
I have to point out that I think the reason why most of them can hit those high notes is, if you notice, a lot of them do have a tendency to wear those pants that are so tight if they farted, their shoes would pop off.
Oh, yeah. No, Thorn, I have a question about this picture you are currently presenting.
Isn't it cool?
I do like it. It's sort of reminiscent of you trying to be Count Dracula from the Dracula movie. But
I love
That
it.
looks more like Renfield.
Oh, yes.
if you ask me.
I
No,
actually
no.
own.
The glasses.
I own this suit in real life.
Oh. Why do you not do pics of you in the suit and then continue to lewd yourself as you go along in the catalog?
I don't know.
That sounds like you should be doing stuff like that.
Clearly are fapping to this chick.
Of
She
course
has
he is.
nudes on her fucking her Zazzle store.
I know, man.
That is not fucking private information, bro.
Thorn,
No, this is
how long
my
have we known each other, Thorn?
my boobs are not private information.
She's basically shown the world her titties.
I
and
know.
her naked on her
I
bed.
don't know. What has it been like 6 months? I'm bad at telling.
We've known each other. I think we've known each other almost a year. I think it's getting
Almost.
close to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So am I the only guy here who's never seen Thorn's boobs?
I guess
Possibly,
so.
yes.
Thorn, why don't you go ahead and put the link to your Zazzle store in the chat?
Just Zazzle.
Yep, it's Zazzle. Because Zazzle allows adult stuff.
Nudie things.
She's got
I am
playing
of the
cards,
opinion that
lighters.
tasteful nudes are not porn.
I agree.
I could, considering I could fap to just about anything.
People can fap to the Sears catalog. What the fuck is your point?
Exactly.
People used to fap to National Geographic and those pancake titties on the African women too.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
Come
that
on,
was before the internet.
Keeping in mind though that now that we have the internet, I believe I've said this several times too. These degenerates can fap to a fucking toaster with a goddamn badly drawn set of titties on it. So.
Well, Samaj and I do watch a lot of anime, and we can honestly tell you that anime is heading in that direction.
Oh my god, there will be an anthropomorphic toaster by the end of the year, I guarantee you.
Oh no!
But yeah, no,
Samaj, did you not ever see that toaster that somebody drew the cutesy little anime face on, and it says on top of the toaster, "Put it in me, senpai."
Oh God, no!
God damn it.
I don't know what to make. Sometimes the anime community, makes me smile. It's, funny joke, ha ha ha, or, great idea, guys, ha ha, that's awesome. And then sometimes the anime community makes me go, guys,
Back
we're
it up.
slipping into
No.
that fucking circle again. We need to stop.
and then there's the ever loving the cry of Twitter. Shad, no. Shad, no. What have you done? With the pit bull, I'm just like, oh my god, Shad, no.
Like, Shad, we love you, but stop.
Yeah, sometimes, Shadman, we will see things and we know it's coming. Everyone knows it's coming. We're like, we know Shadman's gonna loot the shit out of this or turn that into some kind of crazy.
Shadman ruins the Incredibles for everybody.
Shadman ruined the Incredibles on so many levels. And then there are always gonna be those things where it's like, Shadman, don't you fucking do it. Don't you dare.
Brockus, I think you went further than that with the Incredibles, because did you not see the headline of the guy who was arrested for fapping while watching The Incredibles 2 in the theater?
I couldn't stop laughing because he made a little comic strip of that, but it wasn't what you would think. And I was just like, oh my God, Shad, why?
Pixar, this is what happens when you invite everybody to stare at Elastigirl's ass. Someone's gonna fap.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
To be fair, that booty was everywhere.
It was.
Right? I mean, her booty can literally be everywhere.
Yeah, well, she can stretch. That's why.
I
That
think
was a joke. Thank you.
And I did want to say, Incredible Girl or whatever, or Elastigirl, she's the only one with that power that actually makes it look good. That Camilla Khan from Marvel. No, stop. Ugly and bigoting. Fucking.
And let's not forget that they had to point out in what was it, the first Incredibles movie, that she was all lithe and nice looking originally, and then she got the mom butt in the later on in the movie, and it's like I don't think that's helping.
So on several occasions, I've actually gone through Twitter thinking to myself, God damn it, Chad. On several occasions, I've gone through my Twitter and thought about, it would be fucking hilarious if I went to Shadman and said, hey, would you mind doing one of your things, like maybe a comic strip or even just a group photo of these people from the Cunt Stream on this particular episode? And like, you know, see what you do. And then I remember what he does, and I just realized there is only one woman on the stream right now, but everyone's gonna have a dick in this picture. Just
everybody in this picture is gonna have a dick, including me.
Let's not forget that the most disturbing part of the 2016 election or 2016 elections, was it was not any of the shit that the candidates did. It was Shadman doing the Hillary Clinton cartoon.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
oh, no.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my god, what the fuck is this?
Either everybody's gonna have a dick, or everybody's gonna be like prepubescent.
I remember going on Twitter, and Shad actually posted something asking for, like, you know, artist submissions and that kind of stuff. You know, get paid, yeah. And I didn't even know about it. And then Igor tagged me in that tweet, and I'm like, oh fuck, I kind of want to, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know if I want to be associated with you. It's like, well, the money's good, but oh god. But it's like it's a life-altering choice.
Do I want to be associated with a guy that draws bestiality on a regular basis?
Yeah. Oh god! It's like,
I have to admit that loot he did of Hella was hella good.
Holy crap! Yeah.
I think the funniest thing is that Shadman does probably a lot of commission work. Most likely he does a lot of commission work. But then on Shad Base, you will see a giant library of shit you didn't think anyone would do, but he did, because it's fucking Shadman. He will do it simply because he fucking wants to. His website, Shad Base, is basically just a gigantic what trolls really do when they're also good at art.
It's shitposting porn.
It's shitposting porn because he basically looted the fuck out of the Croatian prime minister's wife.
Oh god, yeah.
And no one was mad. Everybody saw that. I think she even saw it, was just like, I like this. This is good.
Tommy looked at it and she's like, my boobs aren't quite that big.
My boobs are not quite that big, and I don't actually have the bikini, but I am inclined to go and buy it now.
Oh yeah.
She was fine, man.
You might like this sums up Shadman in every way.
Yes, god damn it, that's
Present
you
me.
think it's gonna be nice, sweet, and wholesome, and then he does this.
Brockus, present me. Present me.
Hold on.
Present me.
Calm your fucking
me.
Oh, yes.
Witness me! That is exactly Shadman in a nutshell.
That is. Summing him up isn't that hard. It's just, you know, trying to do it in a subtle way.
See, I'm surprised Samaj doesn't do lewds just for the hell of it.
I do, but I tend to worry.
You tend to do it very rarely. You do them once in a while. Shadman just goes fucking nuts.
Well, the thing is with that is that I have to be careful because Shadman, he's got enough of a fan base that, I mean, his fans will be there for him to help get him back on, that kind of stuff. If I do something, I'm never coming back. And so you gotta be careful of what you do, especially on Twitter, on the internet. I'd love to do more, but I mean, it's plain old isn't safe. And that's why, like, Shadman, I totally respect him because he's a guy who managed to make it work. And he's luckily, you know, getting lots of money and stuff for it, which is good. He deserves it.
Dude, Samaj, trust me, I've seen shit on Twitter that would turn you white. Don't worry, you could probably get away with some softcore lewds a little more often.
Probably.
Because I see shit on there all the time that's like, how is this person not banned yet?
Oh, fair enough. There's plenty of people out there. It just takes one person to make a fuss.
All you got to do is just say Trump's a dick. You know, you can put anything on there, fucking, you know, go leave it up.
Yeah, but then I have to actually draw Trump as a dick.
You know what's one of my favorite things about Shadbase now that I actually think about it?
Really?
He has such a huge fan base from many different fucking corners of the internet that there was at least one girl, I think is actually a cam girl, but I can't be 100% certain. But she does actually take several photos of herself. At the very least, she is a nude model. She's such a fan of Shadman that she legitimately did a photo shoot for him, for Shadbase, of herself in his infamous mask, wearing the hat and everything as Shad Woman, and has even gone to cons dressed as Shad Woman and basically did like a nude photo shoot of herself topless in just a thong, and then eventually the thong was gone and all that stuff. And I'm just like, so technically there are now 2 Shads out there, one of which will just do nude pictures of herself, and the other one who will draw nude pictures of everyone.
Everything.
Yeah, the one thing I do see fairly commonly at most conventions that I go to, and I have another one coming up, so I'm definitely gonna see her there, her as in the cosplay, is that Zone Town, the one that does all those animations. You know the one.
Mm.
I have no idea who you're talking about, but I might have to investigate it for science and reasons.
There you go. Well, yeah, you know, Zone Town. She does all those. Trying to think which was the Teen Titans. I can't go into too many details.
DM me the correct spelling of this on Twitter so I can do some
Sure.
research.
1 second. I'll do that. All right, Box, I'm going to stop presenting here so you can.
Oh, okay.
Well, the funniest thing about it is I've seen my share of the internet. I know I haven't seen it all because I'm pretty sure if I had, my brain would probably fucking explode. But there are just things on the internet no human should ever witness. Shadman hovers between that and he hovers around that quite a lot. You have to admit.
Yeah.
But then again, if you didn't witness it, you probably wouldn't be fucking jaded. So
I don't know where the line is, but I think Shadman's like humping it.
Yes, he is.
I
that man
just
is
want hair on
line
it.
hard.
I just want hair on it. That's all. That's all I'm going to say about that. It's just pubic hairs. It creeps me out when it's gone.
Yeah.
Really.
Thank you, Irate Prostate, for being a fellow hair pie enthusiast.
You know, I mean, I'm female and everything, but it's like I've shaved it a few times and I just look down, just like, this doesn't look right.
Yeah.
It looks weird.
Doesn't.
It feels weird. Also, it itches.
Looks like a kid.
Well, the worst part about it is when, a lot of women who shave their hoo-ha, it's like, you do realize without hair, your pussy looks like somebody beat the fuck out of a lasagna, right?
Nice. Bang. Gee, that was good. Where are you from, man? I'm trying to
North
pick
Carolina.
that accent. All right. Fuck yeah. Tobacco country.
Yep, I'll be right back.
No, yeah, it itches when it grows back, Will.
Yeah, no shit. I can imagine. You know, when I had my heart surgery and shit, you know, they had to shave my whole fucking my chest from where my neck touches my body till all the way down to my pubes. And
That must have been fun to grow back.
oh Jesus, that was the most itchiest shit. And especially, you know, when my, you know, with the open heart surgery and that scar right down the zipper down the middle right there. I mean, it's just impossible to scratch that shit without, you know, you gotta go get in there, you know. So, and yeah, it was itchy. All right, next.
What were we talking about?
Next what? Pubic hair.
Is that what we've divulged into? We've devolved
Pretty
into.
much.
Yes, I have to make my statement. In any new place, I have to piss in the corner and make my statement about it's got to have pubic hair, or I will not look at it or eat it. So
I don't like being. It's also like I have a fucking permanent retainer, and you know, at least trim, ladies.
yeah, that's fair. Even a landing strip, you know, just something. Just give me just some kind of inkling that there's, you know, a grown ass woman I'm standing in front of. You know what I'm saying?
Hell, give it a Hitler mustache for all I care. just as long as it's got something. Because
I will say that waxing fucking sucks.
I bet.
Thorne, at least you never tried to nair that very, very, very sensitive.
No, because I'm not a fucking idiot.
Well, yeah. Let me put it this way: the chemical burn on my ball sack had me walking bow-legged for like 4 days.
Why would you do that?
Okay, I am not like I'm smart enough to know not to put caustic chemicals on my vagina.
Well, I did that because the girl I was with at the time, she wanted me to shave it, and I was like, "Oh, well, I'll just use Nair since you know it'll be really itchy if there's any stubble down there." Which brought up, and so I thought, well, if I Nair it, you know, it's a hair remover. You know, I didn't bother to read the bottle before I got in the shower.
Do not put on genitals.
Slathered that all over ye olde naughty bits there, but I learned that lesson pretty damn quick.
You have just given all the tools to Samaj to lewd the shit out of you. So
basically, Magnus, what you say is you dipped your balls in napalm.
Kinda.
It had to be what it felt like.
Why are we talking about manscaping like this?
Yeah, we should never have gone on the topic of Shadman.
Somehow it always comes back to genitals at some point or another. I mean, we'll talk about.
Shadman, you guys forget Shadman is almost like his own form of disease, I guess. He's like a virus. He spreads quickly into the minds of all he comes in contact with.
It's like syphilis.
Well, we would have to come up with a more shad version of that, Shadowless or something like that.
You know what's actually funny? Yeah, Shadowless actually does sound. But no, what's actually kind of funny is I have never, and I'm sure it does exist, but I've never actually seen the feminists, SJWs, those who advocate for PC culture, all that stuff. I've never seen those crazy people legitimately go after Shad Base or Shad Man. I've never seen them do that, and I think it's because after Tumblr tried to take down 4chan so many years ago, and it backfired horribly for them, I think they realized what would happen if they actually attempted to try to take down Shadman.
Samaj, do me a favor. Do me a favor right quick, Samaj. Go into my tweets and retweets and pull up the one I quote tweeted Ben Shapiro because he posted a picture of a BuzzFeed article that you're just going to have to read out because if I try to paraphrase it, it's not going to have the right oomph. But this is so painfully stupid, you guys. It's a BuzzFeed article, so fair warning.
Okay. But well, also someone else will have to read it out because I can't. Hold on a second. Let me screen share it.
All right.
All right.
But what were you saying about Shad, Brockus?
Oh, I think that no one has ever actually gone after Shadman, really, because they would lose if they did.
Yeah, they did. They actually tanked his
okay.
He got suspended
guys.
for a while, a little bit.
Okay, guys.
Okay, so I shall read this out since I asked Samaj to pull it up. BuzzFeed article: Why is porn so sexualized?
You don't need to go any further. You don't need to go any further because that is the dumbest fucking article.
No, let's just go back to talking about Shad. Nope.
We've reached the peak of BuzzFeed's evolution.
Nope. BuzzFeed, no.
People die when you kill them.
And the best part of this is a look as to how the porn industry sexualizes women.
That is the entire fucking point. That is the entire fucking and men.
There's a level of what the fuck in that article title that cannot be ignored.
Yeah. It's just if you got to be that goddamn stupid to write an article like that, it's like,
Well,
who are they hiring?
Well, this is BuzzFeed, so that question's already been answered several million times.
Y'all just killed Will, okay?
Didn't Baked Alaska work for them at one point?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Baked Alaska is I've
Yes.
never really liked Baked Alaska, to be honest. But that dude is such an extreme trend hopper that I just want him to fade away entirely. I would like if Baked Alaska just disappeared and never came back.
I mean, once you hop
I
on
think
the
he has.
racial supremacy train, you immediately lose me.
I think he already has disappeared without a trace because I haven't seen hide nor hair of his ass in I don't know how long.
Oh, he'll resurface. You watch.
Yeah, he does this. He'll disappear for a bit and then he eventually resurfaces.
He'll shave. He'll be clean faced.
Good.
Maybe not called Baked Alaska anymore.
Maybe have longer hair. You know, yeah,
Man bun.
kind of a Jim Morrison kind of thing going on.
He's gonna join the war.
Maybe a ball hat, maybe a baseball hat. Yeah, and he's going to be all about. What do you think? I don't know. What would be hot? Let's see.
I couldn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Not even if somebody paid me to.
You know what? You're right.
I mean, even when he was a supposed darling of the right, I really didn't give a shit because
Let me tell you, y'all are getting duped by some folks. By the way,
Yeah, no shit. I mean,
guys, have we heard how great Candace Owens is now that she's on our side? Not my side, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I still don't trust her.
oh, dude.
You shouldn't.
I might agree with some of the shit that she says every once in a while, and I might agree with a lot of her so-called newfound stances and you know what's right and all that stuff. But in all honesty, I look at Candace Owens and I immediately think, you fake ass wannabe, my name is Josephine bitch.
She's blacked Alaska.
She is. She's Black Alaska.
Wow. That's
If you want to follow a genuine fucking black woman who actually talks about these same topics and is not fake as shit, you go and listen
Josephine.
to My Name is Josephine. That
Yep.
woman is not only gorgeous, but she's fucking smart as hell, and she's basically from the start been on our side.
And she's got a twin sister. That's all I got to say.
let's go.
Is her twin
Let's
sister
go
also in a
ahead.
relationship?
An identical
Well,
twin sister.
Let's
Oh
go
my
ahead
God,
and
there's
face
two of her.
Let's go ahead and face the fact that with people like Candace Owens, I think that somebody said the word trend hopper.
Yep,
Yep.
blacked Alaska.
Kind of sums that up.
Yep, she is a trend hopper. So I might have to move to Canada because if Josephine has a identical twin sister, if she's single, if she's got
so
a boyfriend,
pretty.
obviously I'm not gonna make a move or anything like that.
My name is Josephine. Is so pretty.
Oh my God, the woman she's made of sex in my mind. She drips hotness. I can't
Nigerian
explain it.
princess.
Yes, she's the true definition of what I would consider as a Nigerian princess, by the literal definition of her actually being from Nigeria.
Send me your bank account.
If I could, I would marry Josephine right now. But she is apparently in a very, very happy relationship. I'm not.
And we
gonna
are
talk
happy
to
for her.
or anything like- And yes, I'm very happy for her. But the second that dude fucks up, I will be there. I will be at her door. Hello, Josephine. My name is Brockus. How are you doing today?
No, but yeah, I don't agree with everything Josephine says, but I agree with like a good chunk of what she says, and I think she's pretty smart and awesome.
Oh yeah. I dude, when she was on on Andy Worski's channel before he started going heavier on the live streams and less on the videos and stuff. When she came in as a guest, I loved the fact that she was the one who improv'd, "Hey guys, why do you have a whites only sign in the washroom?" And they just went with it. But she was the one who improv'd that joke from the start. And it almost killed Andy.
She's funny. I like her.
American Phoenix for $2. Thorn is on. I am a happy Phoenix. Here's money.
Yay.
I'm pretty sure and I'm most likely certain that Thorn is currently not wearing pants. If Thorn were to go on camera, Phoenix would be even happier and give more money. But
I am wearing pants.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a
but then
lie.
this
You know it.
stream would be kicked to the adults only universe, and we don't want that. Just
I would
I
immediately age restrict the fuck out of this particular stream and
Well,
just.
that's a question to be asked, though. Is there a fucking Pornhub account for the cunt stream?
Actually,
Yeah.
No, I really am. I actually no. Technically, I'm not wearing pants. I'm wearing a skirt.
Well,
See,
send
you're
me-
not wearing pants. Ha ha! Don't give anybody ideas, Thorn. You're giving everybody in the audience ideas. You're giving.
I
Phoenix
rarely
an
wear
idea.
pants, so when I am wearing pants, they're trousers.
What do you think about Jordan Peterson and drag makeup? This is a real picture of Jordan Peterson.
I just think drag makeup is amusing as fuck.
I actually dig
He's
some
a
of the
fabulous
people out
queen,
there in
isn't
drag
he?
makeup.
He's just
Will Arnold's
fabulous.
Oh god, that is
Yes,
some of the
queen,
worst.
Slay!
That is so fab. Oh my god.
No, but like there's some real artistry that goes into some drag makeup, and I can appreciate that.
Yeah. And then there's that like
$2. She is a married woman, Broncos. Show some respect. If Thorn has a problem with it, she will let me know, and I will abide by, okay.
Oh, I yelled at Pinoid last Wednesday because he called me a bitch on stream.
Oh, that's
oh
not right.
shit.
I was like, don't call me a bitch.
No, I will sexualize the shit out of you, but I'm not going to insult you like that.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'll call irate prostate a bitch, but that's just because,
That's fine. I can yell at myself.
he'll just call me a faggot, and we'll have our little fake beef moment, and it'll be good.
Oh, good lord.
I think Samaj has himself muted right now because he is drawing up some dirty, dirty fucking pics right now.
He probably is.
I hope so.
Either that or
Yay!
he walked away to take a pee. I don't know.
Nudes, yay! Or walk the dog or something. Yeah, that's why I'm wearing a skirt. It's because I was walking the dog before you guys invited me onto the stream.
You wear a skirt to walk the dog?
I wear a skirt almost everywhere.
Brockus, I have to admit, the idea that Samaj is only merely taking a whiz and not drawing lewd pictures is kind of a disappointment, almost anticlimactic in a way.
Like, okay, my pants drawer, or whatever would be my pants drawer, is basically one pair of jeans, my work pants, and a bunch of skirts.
Man. I'm pretty sure Mr. Midnight is a happy man. My wife does not wear a whole lot of fucking pants. This is an amazing thing. It's just, it's easier to get to.
It's just like it's easy access, except for the mermaid skirt, which is a pain in the ass apparently.
You have a mermaid skirt?
The mermaid style skirt's the one that follow the curve of the body. It's called the mermaid style.
Gotcha.
It had the back catch is like four different catches.
All right, that makes sense.
So basically, it's a Fort Knox lockdown system.
Pretty much. Last time Mr. Midnight was trying to get into it, he's like, "God damn it!" So I'm just.
He basically has to. He when you're wearing that and he's getting a little frisky, somebody has to play the Mission Impossible theme.
Yes, I was just thinking the same thing. As soon as she's wearing that and he wants to get frisky and shit, the music comes on. He drops down some like fucking infrared spy goggles and shit.
It actually is I can barely get it off myself. I have to flip it around front so I can see what the fuck I'm doing. Will Honorless wants a kilt. Yes. Kilts are great.
I actually want to kilt myself.
More men should wear kilts.
I only wear a kilt if I need to air out ye olde nutsack.
That is the point, sir. And that is why the Scots had it right when they came up with the kilt.
Easy access. That's right.
No, it's because sheep can hear a zipper from 30 yards.
I think that's actually quite possibly the greatest fucking combination you could actually come up with. Is like, if you yourself are basically, if you're wearing a kilt and she's wearing a skirt, but a relatively long skirt, let's be honest, because it's easy access for all to be had, and it makes things so much easier, because if you hear somebody coming, there's no oh shit, I gotta panic to button and zip this up now. No, it's just simple, like move off to the side, just stand there like nothing's going on. Also, try not to let your boner show.
Try not to let your
just like
boner
raising
show.
a flag.
Yeah. I actually want several kilts, to be honest. I don't know what Ira Prosted is doing here, but he's got like some psychedelic shit going on.
Well, they do call it pitching a tent for a reason.
I'm a crowdfund a kilt.
For you?
Yes.
Oh.
It has pockets.
Yes, I think it's the funniest thing. It's the only kind of skirt and/or dress a woman can wear that will come with pockets.
Well, you guys are reminding me of that old ass story that I heard at the SCA one time years and years ago about the Clan Magaroin. Their battle cry was "Tooch, Tooch Magaroin."
Oh god. Oh. Magnus, why don't we have you on more often?
No, that is one of those. One of my pseudo troll names is Dr. Phil McGroin.
Yeah. Utility kilts.
It is.
American Phoenix for $2. The idea of Thorn in a kilt holds great appeal. Oh, so you can do it and pay for it, but I can't do it because she's my friend. You know what, American Phoenix? I see your double standards.
Of course.
Yeah.
Utility kilts.
Double standards exist for a reason.
I know. I'm just giving American Phoenix shit because I like them.
I got distracted by a bunch of dudes in kilts. Hang on, what?
Well, that's actually now an interesting question. Does Mr. Midnight own any kilts?
No, because we don't have an extra $200 lying around.
Also, he wouldn't be allowed to wear it, seeing as how something would hang a little lower than it's supposed to. Gotcha.
Well, if you get him the proper type of kilt, the traditional style, it'd probably work.
I'm not sure you should be wearing that kilt because it clearly looks like you're smuggling a small wee bat there. Oh, that's not a bat. Never mind. It still looks like it could knock a woman out if you hit him in the head with it. Fuck.
Don't go swinging that thing around at me, laddie.
Oh, I actually there is a black on the route that I go to work that is like dreadlocks, ripped to hell, and a kilt, and I'm just like, oh god, oh god. Mr. Midnight's like, you're not okay, are you? I'm just like,
Of course not.
What kind of not okay are we talking about?
The good kind of not okay.
Oh, I think what this is what's happening.
The kind of not okay that requires nipple clamps, a gallon of motor oil, and a trained circus bear.
What I think is happening here is Thorn went to a website to try to actually purchase a kilt because
I
she
was gonna show. Yeah.
No, fair enough. And then you saw several models for the kilts got a bit on the moist side. Mr. Midnight picked up on that with his sexual sensories and looked over and went, "Oh,
he's not here."
We need to send you to that website more often.
This site. Present me. Utila kilts.
What's the name of this site?
Utila kilt.
Oh.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest kilt companies out there, and they actually legitimately make kilts of various fabrics, designs. If you want your kilt to have a tartan on it, you have to send the pattern to them, obviously, and they will basically custom make it and stuff like that. Otherwise, it is solid colored kilts.
They actually make them for the United States Postal Service. So if you are a postman, you can get a kilt that they will only sell to you if you are a postman.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
trying to find
I think I figured out why Thorne's muffin got so moist. She started thinking a little too hard about what's he hiding under that kilt.
Kill. I think I like this one. This one. Look at this model! Come on, come the fuck on. Do you blame me?
No,
It's only the bottom half of his body.
no, I don't blame you at all. I mean, look at
Woof.
great cheese on that fucking stomach.
Woof.
I want so many different kilts because as much as I do enjoy wearing shorts in the summertime when it's hot outside, I still think I need something just a little breezier.
But,
I
like,
love shorts.
I love the postal carrier thing because, like, imagine you're a postal carrier somewhere like Phoenix, Arizona.
Stick
And
Oh,
you're
yeah.
a dude.
pants up your shorts, dude. Come on.
If I
You
had
need-
balls, I would be wearing a kilt if I was a postal carrier in Phoenix, Arizona.
You don't have balls?
I don't have balls.
Oh.
Well, see, the only thing about Phoenix, Arizona is your best option to beat the heat out there is to be wearing nothing, but they call that indecent exposure. and that. See, I've even sat in my truck in Phoenix, Arizona with the AC going full blast, wearing not a stitch of fucking clothing, and I still could have sold you guys a fucking ball soup or $1 a cup.
Oh, it's
That's
so
how
cute.
fucking hot it gets.
It's so cute and adorable when dogs run around naked and just start humping things. People will even make videos of it and stuff. But when I do it, it's a fucking felony.
And if I do it near a school, I end up on a list.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Just, just know where all the schools are, man.
What do you guys
You
think
know?
that people? You think there are people out there who are fucked up enough to use the sex offender registry as a invite list to a party?
Actually, yes. How do you think Chris Hansen got so many people on his show?
I'm Chris Hansen from NBC News. Have a seat.
Why don't you have a seat?
Why don't you have a seat?
Oh, that's all right. I remember when me, Marking Bad, and a couple other people kept bombarding Amos Yee with Chris Hansen memes.
Oh, look, Mark has a deck of Naked Thorn playing cards. Fantastic. If I ever
Oh,
play
hello.
cards with Mark, it's gonna be with that deck. We
Yeah,
won't
just
get-
be, yeah. Well,
Well, how do you
Problem
get
is,
to
if you
the?
get all-
I couldn't find the interesting stuff.
Oh,
as it
go to the
were.
very bottom, and there's an actual
Oh, yes.
button you have to push for on/off. It is age
Oh.
restriction.
Yeah, Zazzle has a filter. You have to scroll down to the bottom to turn their filter off. Not your filter, Zazzle's filter.
I have to say though, Brockus, if you're playing that card game, I'm pretty sure the Ace of Spades and the Queen of Hearts are going to be the hardest two to get rid of.
I don't actually know if it's one picture on every card or anything like that. I haven't
No.
seen the full deck. Or
No, it's
I-
not. It's just
I
the back.
just assume that if I end up playing, like, say we're playing Texas Hold'em with Mark, it's me and him. I'm just saying that most likely the table will suddenly start to float in midair, and we won't get past the first round.
And suddenly you two will be in separate rooms playing a game of solitaire, so to speak.
Yes.
Aha! Royal flush.
Guess you found him. I need to make some more stuff.
I gave you an idea for a fucking a catalog. You basically wear that suit with those glasses, and you just casually take one article of clothing off at a time in various different sexy poses and such.
It's a strip. That's all that is. A strip tease is what you're
It's
saying,
essentially,
right?
yeah, that's essentially what it is. It's just a strip tease, and then the end picture is however you want to actually be posed, either fully naked or still in your panties, whatever the case is. Like, there are so many
actually,
women out there that do this on a regular basis. They have calendars, they do lewds, they do nudes. It's just, you can make a lot of money with your own fan base doing exactly this. Women like
Actually,
Sell
I'm pretty-
Chew.
I'm pretty sure she could probably create a whole set of T-shirts that people would have to buy.
Oh yeah.
They could be the strip tees, and you just wear one every day of the week, and they progressively get more and more lewd
Yeah.
until Sunday when you're hanging out at the house and she's completely naked.
I've never really wanted to do lewds that much.
Well, basically, like there are three women that come to mind when it comes to stuff like this. There's Stella Chu. She's actually a relatively famous cosplayer. She started off doing stand-up comedy, burlesque shows, and the occasional cosplay. But then she got more and more popular with cosplay, so she just started doing more and more cosplay. Now she does sexy cosplay and does, on her Patreon, offer special sets of her essentially doing full lewds or nudes, depending on what level you are, blah, blah. Danny Devine was at one point nothing more than just a regular, a basic model. She just modeled. She did lewd modeling, nude modeling, stuff like that. But eventually she moved on to doing fetish modeling, where she would specifically work for a variety of different companies and friends of hers that did actual fashion and stuff like that for fetishes and stuff like that. Now she's also a fucking, she's a stage girl at various burlesque shows. She performs fire-breathing acts and fire-eating acts, I actually should say. And she even tours throughout Europe with the Pyrohex girls. These are three women, and then the third one was basically Jessica Negri. She was just a run-of-the-mill hot cosplayer at Anime Expo. Somebody decided to interview her in her Harley Quinn costume, and she blew the fuck up. Now she is probably one of the most famous cosplayers and lewd models. Some of these women started off showing their bodies, and Jessica did not. She still has yet to fully go topless in pictures and shit. And they make a very good living off of doing just that. Thorn, if you actually put a little bit of time and effort into it, just decided, yeah, fuck it, I'll do like, 5 sets or whatever like that. You're gonna get a fucking fan base that wants those sets so goddamn badly, you won't know what to do anymore.
No, that could work. I don't think I'm ever gonna do lewds though. I'm just not comfortable enough.
Brockus, you might want to check your Twitter DMs there, bud.
Twitter DM. I don't know who this is. She is clearly from an anime, but saved.
What the fuck?
He sent me big titties.
Somebody pop on poll right now.
No.
What?
I don't go to
never.
No. Go down underneath the Twitter.
No.
My name is Isaac Cappy.
What?
Isaac Cappy shit posts about how fucked up Hollywood is. Isaac does a live stream on Periscope and calls out pedophiles in Hollywood.
What?
Also does Instagram live stream. Seth Green offers Isaac $250K per year and whatever car he wanted if he joins the Illuminati and fucks kids.
What the fuck
tells
is this?
Seth Green to go fuck himself. Isaac has been shit posting all last evening and today with us. Fuck you pedophiles. Fuck you pedo elites.
I don't know if that's true or not.
Where does that come from?
I said poll, man. Where did I?
No, I mean never mind.
No, yeah, Bruni's pretty much accurate on that. We got to reset the clock. Let the Kumite know. Fuck. Every goddamn day now we have to reset this fucking clock.
I'm literally just going to tweet at Tonka just to reset the clock.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, you guys are going to have to fill me in too because I'm completely clueless.
Uh-oh. It must have something to do with the South being...
No, I drive a truck, irate, so I'm out of the loop on quite a bit of things.
I feel you.
I'm out of the loop just because I'm out of the loop.
I'm just old. I have no excuse.
I feel old.
Basically, the clock is in reference to what goes on in the Kumite. I can't remember who actually said it. I want to say it was Tonka. But it was in reference to when Anal Vape was outed as a pedophile because he was discovered to be hitting on a 16-year-old girl in Discord, in Geek Thulu's fucking Discord specifically. Found out she was only 16, kept hitting on her and asking for nudes. So,
well, I don't think that counts as a pedophile myself, but
Well, technically speaking, the actual term is hebephile, because
What?
hebephilia is for girls who have clearly gone into puberty and are still considered underage, but they are, in fact,
Sexually mature.
yeah, they're actually physically more mature. Pedophilia is actually prepubescent
Right.
young boys and girls. That's
What this
essentially
is
what it is.
splitting hairs.
I
Yes.
don't want to argue semantics on this whole fucking thing. I'm just going to use it as a blanket term for basically these sick bastards who actually go for people who are underage.
I'm always like, it's like with 16-year-olds, unless you're within like 4 years of that girl, what the fuck are you doing?
He knew,
Well,
and he kept going.
See, but now, Thorne, you're going to make me feel bad for hitting on girls who are of age or better.
Well, what about that girl that
No,
was
no,
in
no,
fucking
no, 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 no.
Gemini's?
The
Is that
reason
not
I
the
say-
same girl.
Hang on, no, but the reason I said 4 years specifically is because 4 years could mean that you were a freshman, he was a senior in high school. That I think that's an acceptable age difference. Y'all could have gone to school together at that point.
Yeah. Okay, so when it comes to the whole age difference thing, like, I'm not going to lose my shit if a 35-year-old woman is dating a 22-year-old guy. I'm not going to lose my shit over that, despite the fact that you have to remember that that dude was a middle schooler when she was in her 20s.
Well, and keep in mind that I almost got thrown under the bus when I was 18 because I was dating a 16-year-old.
No, I wouldn't have thrown you under the bus for that.
No, that's fine.
Oh, no,
Again,
but
That's Romeo and Juliet.
Keeping in mind, her parents threatened to nail me for statutory rape because I was of age, and I didn't know.
That's bullshit. That they should bring back Romeo and Juliet laws.
They do, actually. There's several states that still have the Romeo and Juliet laws in place.
Alabama.
But basically, like, when it comes to the age differences and shit like that, when it's, a 16-year-old and an 18-year-old, fine. When it's a 22-year-old and an 18-year-old, I can see why, but maybe that's putting a stretch on it and stuff. Still, there is an obvious fucking difference between, again, a 35-year-old woman and a 22-year-old dude. There is an obvious age gap, but at the same time, the two clearly fucking met when they were already of age. There are guys out there that are referred to as MILF hunters, okay? It doesn't fucking matter. Like, if you want to go around banging a bunch of MILFs or cougars or whatnot, that's fucking on you. So long as everybody is a consenting adult, I don't give a shit. But when it comes to the whole underage thing, if you're only like 2, 3, or even 4 years off, fucking, I don't care. That's fine. That's not super fucking creepy. You knew each other in school at one point, or maybe your sister knew his brother. Whatever the case was, you knew each other. It's not that creepy of a fucking concept. It's not that creepy of a thing. However, once you step into a 45-year-old teacher fucking a 15-year-old student, that's when we go, okay, no, you need to stop, you sick bastard, you motherfucker.
Well, but what about when it gets into the territory of like 40-year-old banging an 18-year-old? How does that work?
That's creepy as fuck, but I have jerked off to so many fucking videos.
It's creepy and unfortunate. It's creepy and unfortunate, but unfortunately not illegal.
Yeah.
Well, but that's the thing that gets me is there's people who, like a 25-year-old guy dates like a 17-year-old girl, and people flip their shit. But if a 40-some-odd-year-old, is dating like a 20-year-old, it's like nobody really says shit. It's like, how the fuck does that work?
Pornhub has deceived me so many goddamn times. There was a chick on a video that I was watching, and
haven't y'all heard about the I can't remember what it's called, the quotient, but you take your age, you cut it in half, and you add 6 to it. All right, and above that age is okay, and below that age is not okay.
Oh, that's just a rule of thumb for weirdos.
Hang on. So take your age, cut it in half, and add 6, you said?
Yeah.
21-year-olds are retarded, though.
I think I'm a little bit luckier than that, because with me, it's, let's see, 21, about 27 years old would be my threshold there.
Will Allen is dating minors.
No, again, that's just a rule of thumb for the really stupid people out there and shit like that. You don't necessarily have to follow it. I just have a strict rule of no one under 25.
I just say get married and fuck it. Stay married.
This is a non-issue.
And then you don't have to fuck with any of this shit.
It is very
Okay,
difficult for somebody like me to get married, so I
have to admit that getting married, no, because I can't afford that.
Well, just stay in a monogamous relationship. I know I dig what he's saying.
Don't marry a greedy bitch. My wedding ring is $50, Magnus.
Hell's bells, you get married at all and you're just going to cost you more than you're worth.
Go to the freaking whorehouse. It costs $35.
I don't know, man. I was lucky. I was fortunate. I met Uzi Q.
Fucking Bruni on Twitter. Hebophilia? Is that when someone finds Jews attractive?
Jews attractive. I knew that was coming.
He was waiting for somebody to laugh. I'm like, no, I saw it. I just think it's funny.
I did not realize that he had done that, and God damn it, that is too fucking funny, man. That very nice, very clever.
I think anime has turned me into one of those.
What?
Pedophile?
Yeah. I mean, most of your hentai is what? Girls between 16 and 18 years old?
You are watching
Jesus,
the wrong
you're right.
stuff. No, you are watching the
No, I know what he's talking about,
stuff.
though.
You need to specifically stay away from the schoolgirl ones. If it's a schoolgirl anime, you're pretty much in dangerous grounds. But
Or slice of life.
yeah, or slice of life. That's where things get a little too dangerous. Now, I'm specifically talking about the hentai things. What you need to do is go after the space pirate genre, which is very small, but almost all of it consists of age women. Trust me.
Well, hell, most of the hentai I've ever seen is of age women, but there's also the ones that you catch every now and again that's like, what? How fucking old is she?
Yeah. Oh,
See, that's the lolly. Stay away from the lolly.
yeah. Don't go into
I
the
don't
lolly
believe
genre.
I've ever-
Yeah,
I don't
fucking
believe
shoe
I've
on
ever
head
caught that.
bullshit.
I don't believe I've ever caught that genre.
Okay, so here's
Go
the
on
actual
ahead,
history behind it. The lolly genre was simply called the lolly genre, loosely based off of the movie that was made so long ago called Lolita, and that's the whole appeal to it and everything. The lolly genre in hentai was for years nothing more than flat-chested girls who were still of age, and then some sick bastards decided to go further. And they started making them underage, and then they went further, and now it's a genre everyone needs to stay away from.
Well, I don't know what hentai you've been watching there, fucker, but every time I get a hold of one, they're schoolgirls, but their chest is bigger than my fucking head.
Those are the ones I usually go for.
But yeah, that.
So, do they got
that's
big bouncy anime titty? Yes.
Yeah,
What?
they have huge anime titty. That's
I
why I'm
can't
like,
do hentai.
I think hentai has turned me into one of those hebophiles or whatever because of that.
That's not a 16-year-old Magnus.
That's not a 16-year-old.
I don't care.
It's there for certain appeal. That's all it is. It's like because every dude in high school wanted to bang the girls at the all-girl fucking private Catholic schools and shit like that. So that's why they kind of still have that whole thing. It's like, oh, they're young, they're impressionable, they're naive. It's very easy to bang the shit out of them. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I specifically, when I go looking for hentai, the first genre I'm putting in is big tits.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing too. Well, yeah,
The
then
first
you're in
genre-
luck there, Brock, is because all the I think about all the lewd waifu wallpapers I've made have had huge tits, haven't they?
Dude, tits are fucking fun to play with. They're toys. They're toys for men, man.
I think
They're
the
sex
first
toys.
I think the first thing I always type into the search bar is amateur. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
It's better. I
Yeah.
don't know why.
Oh, that's for regular porn, though, isn't it?
I don't watch hentai.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then you are
Ah.
referring to regular porn. I'm talking the hentai genres. No, if I'm going on Pornhub, I'm usually looking up for POV or cheerleader.
I have no experience with hentai. I kind of just assumed it was tentacles all the way down.
It's
and
not.
puta.
It's not tentacles all the way down to futa. Some of it is, a lot of it is, and I shamelessly fucking fat to all of it. But most of it is big bouncy anime titties, and I can't get enough of them.
I want to fuck you. I want to suck your dick so bad.
That's kind of some of the dialogue you will see.
Look in my eyes, bitch. Shut up.
My only problem with hentai is I have to watch it with the volume down, or else all the glass in my vicinity will break from the amount of shrieking these women do. It's like, dude, are you fucking her or are you killing her?
Both.
Oh my
There
god.
are some hentai out there where it's both.
And that's Japanese porn too. Just I'm sitting here. It's like, are you murdering her? Why is she crying? What's going on?
Well, yeah, the Japanese women do tend to moan or scream during sex, like they're being slaughtered.
And I like it. I don't know what it is. I think it's that sense of it's terror and pleasure at the same time. I
don't think I've ever in my life been that afraid of a Japanese penis, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah, me either.
Go ahead and look up regular Japanese porn. Just type in JAV and you will most likely find a bunch of different fucking Japanese girl getting railed by a bunch of different Japanese guys. You will see, on average, just an average sized dick. In hentai, however, everyone in Japan has a fucking dick the size of a nuke.
I hate to tell you this, Brockus, but you're telling me to look up this and that, and it's like, that's cute. I've been collecting porn for like now 20 goddamn years. I think I've seen enough.
Wait, you actually download the porn?
Hell yeah, you don't think I pay for it?
Why?
Type in the fucking video on Pornhub.
Because.
Yeah. Why would I waste room on porn?
Yeah. I see what she's saying.
Let's put it this way. At this point, I've got a 4 terabyte external hard drive that's loaded with porn.
I'm gonna say something that's gonna make Anti-Hero and Will Arness's day. I swallowed wrong. They loved quoting me out of context and putting it on fucking Twitter, and I will occasionally give them stuff on purpose. But no, I'm kind of I
getting them stuff all night.
When I go to Pornhub, one of the first things I typically do actually type in, aside from redheads, cheerleaders, and German POV, is amateurs. I don't know what it is about amateurs. It's just, you know,
it's the chemistry between the people. I think.
Back the fucking truck up there, Charlie. Yep, German POV.
Yeah, German POV tends to be the best stuff. Have you never watched? I know it's not actually German POV, but he does say a lot of things in German.
I'm sorry, but German POV is like, yeah, no, I don't want videos of Taha Rouge, okay?
No, dude. Go look up. What is it?
You missed the fucking joke. Move on.
Oh, I'm actually genuinely forgetting what the fucking series is called. But there's a guy who goes around. He speaks like 7 different languages, and he convinces women throughout Russia, Germany, Prague. Well,
you're
Prague.
talking about Czech AV, or yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
basically, he pretends that he actually is he's a legit photographer or film director or some shit like that, and he convinces women. He pays women to basically have sex with him on camera and stuff. And it's usually all like, you know, POV. He's got like a GoPro on or some shit like that. And it's fucking awesome. Like the women he bangs are fucking hot as shit. And you know they're actual porn stars from that area of the world. But like, I still like the illusion.
It might be because I'm female. I get nothing from POV.
Because
POV is made more for the dudes, I believe. But I've noticed quite a few of these assholes like to do the POV thing, and they'll have the camera angle, and you're like, wow, that's hot. And then for some fucking reason, they switch over to a camera off to the side that shows him holding a giant fucking camera while he's railing her, and it's like, could you fucking not?
Or even worse, somebody's like trying to film him plowing a girl, and they switch to the one that's like the back view, and it's too high up, so all you can see is balls and asshole.
Yeah, that was kind of the porn selection we had back when I used to stay in motels, and you'd rent porn, and all it was just some man's hairy ass bobbing up and down in front of the camera. I believe Bill Hicks had a whole bit about that, but I believe he called it the Harry Bobbin Man Ass Films.
The Harry Bobbin Man Ass Films.
Oh man.
Actually, I do have to admit the funniest thing I ever saw was one night out of pure boredom, I was watching some softcore porn because I was up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm watching it, and it was some crappy, sappy film, kind of forgettable, except for the scene where, now you guys know in softcore porn they're not actually allowed to fuck, right?
Technically, there have been several softcore porn videos out there that are actually hardcore, just re-edited.
Well, now I knew this one was a softcore porn because this guy was either gay or he had taken some medication, because the camera angle was just wrong enough for me to catch his limp noodle flopping against her butt while he's going to town like he's railing her for everything he's worth. And I believe I laughed about that for, hell, I'm still laughing about it. And this was years ago.
I love, okay, the one porn that, like, me and Mr. Bennett were actually watching it together. And it's an amateur one. And this couple is just, like, you know, having their fun. And it would be really sexy if for the fact that there's about 3 dogs in the background that won't shut the fuck up. All they're doing is barking. And that's the only audio you can actually hear.
Well, that's how you know they've figured out how to ignore those fucking dogs.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm not trying to derail the subject at all, but I'm a little disturbed by Irate Prostate shows in Avatar at the moment.
What are you doing, Irate?
I don't know what he's doing over there, but
oh look, it's Antifa.
It is. It's
Okay, I have a question. What is the obsession with Guy Fawkes and V for Vendetta? Dude, it's like these fucking people watched V for Vendetta one goddamn time, stroked it the entire fucking movie because anytime V was on stage, it's like, oh my god, yes, V. And like now they all think that they're fucking V from V for Vendetta. It's so fucking annoying.
If you've ever read the comics, V is not the hero.
I found this, man.
There is no hero in V for Vendetta.
No, fair enough. He's basically an anarchist essentially, and like even in the movie he's portrayed as an anarchist. And
see, let me.
No, but in the movie they portray him in a sympathetic.
Let me try to explain this to you badly. The problem is people watch that fucking movie and the activist up their ass decided, oh, hey, that's a great idea. So when the Guy Fawkes mask started going around, these people started fapping while wearing the Guy Fawkes mask. I believe Anonymous were the first buckheads to start this shit. So they already had started ruining that movie for me way back then.
The movie ruined
the movie was okay. I kind of liked it. It wasn't that great. It wasn't that bad. Hugo Weaving did a great job. Blah blah blah. Whatever. But
I hated it.
Yeah, I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it either. So that's kind of where I stand.
No,
then it's like the Harry Potter books and movies. Now that these people practically jerk off to the only piece of media they've ever seen in their fucking lives, I'm fucking sick of it.
That's the other thing that
read another book, see another movie.
It's not even just like read another book, see another movie and shit. These people, they took it too fucking far. Yes, when Anonymous was created, they were a bunch of hackers that basically someone put on a Guy Fawkes mask and basically did those video recordings and stuff like that. Okay, cool, whatever. But that, I could see the appeal to that. It's since then, every single anarchist at some point has a Guy Fawkes mask that they put on and they think they're from V for Vendetta, and I'm sick of it. I am fucking frankly sick of it. I can understand the appeal. It was fine. It was all right. You fuckers have taken this shit so goddamn far. You need to fuck the hell off with it already. You know what I'm talking about?
Brock is the problem is these people take something like that and literally fuck it into the ground. That's the problem.
Oh my god.
The thing I hate about the fucking movie is that they made V sympathetic, and he's not fucking sympathetic. He's a monster.
I need oxygen. Oh shit, that picture was funny as shit, though, isn't it, man?
It's fucking hilarious. But no, the other problem I have is the Harry Potter stuff. Like I didn't read all of Harry Potter. I read Order of the Phoenix, I read a good portion of Sorcerer's Stone, and I've read tidbits throughout the rest of the fucking series and stuff. I haven't read all of it to really know what happens in the book and everything like that, but I have had discussions. I have read some of it. It's fine, whatever. I can at least talk that much. Then I've seen all the fucking movies, and then I see these fucking people that idolize the living shit out of Harry Potter and stuff, and they keep getting everything wrong. Yeah. And I'm sitting here like, do you think that if Harry was an actual real fucking person, that he actually came into our existence and all that stuff, he used a magical fucking spell to cross over into our realm, do you think he would actually be siding with any of you? Because you're basically doing the same shit that Death Eaters, Voldemort, and all those assholes you fucking despise in the books, you're doing exactly what they did. You're just doing the reverse of what it was, and Harry fought
fucking
against that
thank you.
That's
fucking amen.
Jesus.
I'll be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Well,
also, read another book.
The funny thing about it is how they. Yeah, I love those books. They were good. You know, they weren't great. They were good. So they were worth the read. And J.K. Rowling, I'll give her credit. She's a decent enough writer that she. The only problem I had with those books is really everything always seems to happen throughout the school year and wraps up at the end of every school year. How the fuck does this work? Other than that, the books were good. I'll give them credit there.
Classes.
But
exactly.
But here's the problem. These assholes seem to be on the. They seem to be of the mindset that we're the Death Eaters and they're the good guys, and it's like, no, assholes, you're the shitbags that think you have moral superiority because you're the pure bloods.
Yeah,
and all that stupid shit from the books. That's
basically all this is they've become their enemies. They've become the very people that they despised. 10, 20 years ago, the biggest problem that anyone had when it came to politics was basically the religious right trying to monopolize and control fucking everything. For people growing up who either weren't Christians or just didn't give in to Christianity, we were consistently called horrible things. We were called heathens. We were told we were going to burn in hell. We were basically attacked for not just blindly giving in to what they fucking believed. And it pissed us off even more. And we would have to consistently go on this anti-religious tirade where we didn't just go after the Christians. We also went after the fucking Jews and the Muslims because they all follow the same goddamn God. It's a fucking annoyance. And this was the biggest problem that we had for a long fucking time. This has always been a problem. It still is technically a problem, but it chilled the fuck out after a long time. So we actually relaxed. We could take a breath of fresh air and we could actually sit back and go, you know what? We don't have to fucking fight the religious right anymore. We don't have to fight the religious nutbags of this world all that much. But then a twist of fucking weird ass fate happened and the extreme left decided that they were going to bring in one of the three enemies that we had been fighting against for so long, the Muslims, simply because they saw them as a fucking minority that actually... It's the biggest in numbers across the world, but okay, fine. They are a minority, I suppose. And everybody just blames the Muslims for everything because of 9/11. Okay, I can understand why you would want to be somewhat sympathetic and shit. But don't for one goddamn second give in like this, you stupid cunts.
Yeah, you can be sympathetic and not give in.
It's so fucking pathetic, man. Like they basically let murderers, rapists, and fucking advocates of all of that shit into their ranks because they don't want to be exclusive of a so-called oppressed group. Fucking really?
I had friends in high school, well, acquaintances anyway, that were Muslim, and I saw how fucking tough they got it. They had nothing to do with that shit, and they caught all sorts of shit after 9/11, and it wasn't fucking fair. But that's taking it too fucking far.
Yeah, even I stood up for the fucking Muslims that had nothing to do with 9/11, especially the ones who actually fucking despised their own people because of what happened because of 9/11 and shit. I actually knew several people who were from the Middle East. I knew a couple of people that are actually considered Muslim and shit. Because of all of that stuff, they fucking got a lot of flack. I stood up for them because I would basically tell people, hey, fuck up. This person had nothing to do with it. You need to fuck the fuck up. All right? Just leave it the fuck alone. And then, of course, there were people attacking Indians who aren't fucking Muslim, but they are Middle Eastern. And they were fucking attacking them because they can't tell the difference between their languages.
Or Sikhs.
Or Sikhs, yeah. Even then, like fucking the Sikhs, because of the extremely close ties they had with Muslims at one point.
Pakistanis, yep.
It's pathetic. And at one point, we actually would go to bat for people from the Middle East that had nothing to do with that. We were specifically calling out Al Qaeda. We were specifically calling out people from ISIS and shit like that. And then it fucking went completely bonkers because some fucking cunt who was a feminist who just so happened to also be Muslim spoke up and basically started saying, well, I am a feminist, blah, blah, blah. And then, boom, acceptance all across the fucking board for the feminists. And I'm just sitting here thinking, did everyone suddenly forget the fucking video from several years ago when a Muslim girl at a college asked a fucking guy who was there as a guest speaker, who's also Jewish, who was talking about the Holocaust? This woman started her questionnaire off by basically saying, I'm a part of this particular group, and we just recently had our Hitler Youth fucking parade or march or whatever. It's great. You should come next time. And I'm like, he's a Jew. He is legitimately from that culture.
You did that on purpose.
What the fuck just happened? And she tried to fucking fit.
Horrible bitch.
She tried to fight him on some stuff, and he actually brought up the fact that there were people in the Middle East who were calling for the deaths of innocent Jewish people across the world. This was a literal discussion, and he was asking her the question, and she wouldn't answer, and he kept asking for or against, for or against. She said for, and then walked away from the microphone because he had just proven his fucking point that she's a disgusting person, only to be followed up by another fucking crazy-ass cunt who basically decided that, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the extremist side. And they were basically talking about how the people in the fucking Middle East were fighting, and they were wearing regular clothing. They weren't actually militarized, even though they are technically military and shit, but they were wearing regular clothing, and then somehow decided to equate that to the fucking mercenaries during the Revolutionary War. Okay.
Like the Hessians and shit?
No. The people of this was years ago while we were still having the war in the Middle East and everything like that. And one of the complaints, one of the talking points at the time was basically it is very hard for soldiers out in the Middle East to actually determine who is and is not the enemy because everyone is dressed like regular. They're all dressed in what is referred to as civilian clothing. No one is dressed in, you know, army fucking uniform and shit like that. So it becomes difficult for them to determine who is and is not an ally. And this girl decided to take it further and basically equate that to an old tactic from the Revolutionary War when men and women, specifically men though, were actually recruited by military soldiers on our side to simply wear regular clothing and discard, you know, whatever military background they may have had, blah, 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 all that stuff, to essentially be mercenaries to fight in the war for our freedom.
Well, and ladies and gentlemen, this is a great study in thought processes because somehow we went from reboots to Shad Man to Elastigirl's mom ass to here.
Well, we started.
Go figure that one.
You can't bring up Shad Man without bringing up mom ass.
That's pretty much, yeah.
Well, I mean, we actually discussed it long enough for me to throw it out there.
Well, I think he touched on POV anti-Semitism, though.
POV pornography with Lolitas and who knows what the fuck else.
The main reason why I actually did eventually get to the topic where it's because it is still within the realm of what I was talking about from the beginning. It's about hypocrisy and irony. It's basically people saying one thing and then acting completely different when the situation has changed. Like, I think she dropped something. Like Anita Sarkeesian losing her shit when she found out one of her favorite franchises, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer franchise, was getting a fucking reboot. And she lost her shit on it because she doesn't want something like that to happen. Yet at the same time, Anita Sarkeesian has for months, even years now, been quite pleased with these so-called changes, these proper changes to video games, comic books, a hijacking of characters, very fucking beloved characters and stuff, reboots and remakes of very popular old franchises from the 80s and shit. Even though Thundercats got a reboot years ago back in 2011, which was actually decent. Apparently, I found out later on that that shit was going to go in a direction that I was not a fan of. Still, it was actually decent. But this new reboot is complete and utter trash. And this is what I'm talking about. Anita Sarkeesian loves it when it's something she was never a fan of. She loves it when it's something she just wants to see burn because it's a bunch of fucking happy nerds being happy with this particular this product, this franchise, whatever the case is. She loves hurting and destroying all of these people and the things that they fucking love because fuck them. They don't deserve happiness because they're men. But now that it's actually hitting one of her personal fucking favorite things, oh, suddenly it's a travesty. Suddenly this is something that should not, it's wrong. Don't do this. It's a beloved feminist No, it isn't. Shut the fuck up.
Well, not feminist. It's not feminist. It's not.
Brockus, that was the whole reason why I had to throw that poke in her direction about, like I said, it's all fun and games for you until it's other people shitting on something you like.
Exactly.
Because that's exactly where it's gone with her. Is she's a hypocrite bitching about a Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot, but she's got absolutely no fucking problem bitching about the Arkham games that I like, the Batman games, you know. And I'm not a fan of a lot of the games that other people are fans of, but seeing her shit on, like, you know, the Metal Gear Solid, which you could shit on that one just because it's Kojima all you want to, but if you're gonna bitch about the fact that, you know, Quiet's wearing a fucking bikini and she's a sniper, it's like, didn't they explain that she breathes through her skin or some shit?
Yes.
So that's why she wears such little clothing.
Yes, but there's another character that had similar powers, and the dude like wore a ghillie suit. So, just say you want to see naked women. Like, come on,
well,
Kojima. Come on, Kojima.
It's fucking Kojima. He comes up with the most retarded reasons for everything in his
That
games.
was really retarded. I don't even follow the thing, and I looked into it, and I just like, but this character's wearing a fucking ghillie suit, and he apparently breathes through her skin too. So bullshit. You just want to see her in that outfit. Just admit it. It's fine.
Yeah, that's the other thing about it is people lost their fucking testicles. Like, Japan, for the most part, still will not cave. Blizzard will not cave. There are a lot of companies out there that will not apologize and will not cave. But there are going to be those stories where, unfortunately, they did have to cave for one reason or another and shit. Look at Dead or Alive, for example. The next Dead or Alive game was announced and it was coming out and everybody was super fucking excited. The feminists complained. Eventually, the company decided, fine, America is not going to get it. And that was it. They still launched the game. They still continued with the franchise. And now, if you want that game here in America, you have to technically illegally download it or go to a very special website where you can actually buy the digital copy from the company itself and continue to actually.
Was that the one that Play Asia put out a couple of years back?
I think so. Either way,
what was it like? It was like a Dead or Alive beach volleyball game, one of those.
It wasn't just Dead or Alive beach volleyball game. It was the continuation from the Dead or Alive franchise because they always do the same thing. The fighting game comes first, and then the volleyball game comes after.
Also, Bruni, stop timing out the Jews.
I mean, we don't know if they're Jews or not, but yeah, stop timing them out. Your wrench will be taken away for like 5 minutes.
That's bullshit. Don't do that.
No, but
the wrench will be taken away, and hopefully Schmeckel will remember to give it back.
No, he never remembers to take shit away sometimes.
I'm definitely looking forward to Anita Skeezy Sleeves getting as much backlash as she could possibly get from like Black Lives Matter and who knows who all else.
This is something I just threw out there. Can she be a BBW? A big, beautiful black woman with body positivity, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Just Fine.
I think if they did that, one, it would please a lot of fucking people right now because you know those people are advocating for fat acceptance. They're advocating for more black presence in fucking comic books and movies and all kinds of other stuff. And like most of the time, I'm okay with it because, like I said, the actress who plays Iris West in the Flash show did such a phenomenal job. I stopped giving a shit. The actor who plays Heimdall in the Thor movies, I fucking love Idris Elba.
Idris Elba is awesome.
I don't care sometimes, but I do find it a little odd that consistently for the MCU and even DC, they are starting to actually replace, if you notice, with the exception of Black Widow, every redheaded white girl is now being played by a black chick, mixed race or not. It's kind of weird. It's a little fucking weird because even the Flash movie that has been announced has a clip of Iris being played by a black chick. Oh no, I'm sorry. They don't have a clip. It's just you go to the Flash IMDb, the one that's supposed to be coming out next year or some shit like that. I can't remember what it is exactly or when its release date is, but I looked it up. I looked up the Flash movie and I'm like, God damn it! Of course, this is going to be a train wreck because I've been watching the DC movies and I'm just like, yeah, this is going to look like shit. This is going to be shit and stuff like that. I'm still going to watch them because I'm that fucking retarded and I hate myself. But I looked at the Flash information because it's available, and I looked it up, and I found out, yeah, Iris West is being played by a black chick, and I'm just like, you know, you don't have to follow the TV show 100%. Just like that, why wouldn't you just then take the TV show and make it? You're DC. You're not making sense right now. What is wrong with you, WB? But that aside, I find it a little strange that this is a continuous theme. Because one of my favorite redheads from DC has just been replaced, and there are some people that are saying, "Oh, it looks great," and I'm just sitting here like, "Why does she look like a hooker?"
She looks skanky as fuck, man.
I don't even have a problem that Starfire has been replaced by a black girl. I have a problem with that fucking outfit.
I have a problem with that outfit.
Her skin, man. I'm sorry, but it looks like leather.
I think her superpower in that, because she's got the skanky hooker look. She's, you know, people were bitching about Starfire's not a flamethrower. Well, the problem is, yeah, I guess they had to make her a black chick look like a hooker because her power is actually to take her gonorrhea and shoot the flames out.
Okay, I'm going to correct everybody on this. 1, she is a flamethrower. 2, she does not dress like a hooker, regardless of what people might try to say. 3, God damn you, fucking Magnus, with that brilliant damn joke. and 4, her fire is green. It's green. That's
well, and see, I have to bring up, I wasn't even really that big into the Teen Titans until they had it on Cartoon Network.
Nick Fury is
then it kind of grew, huh?
Nick Will Honorless decided to comment Nick Fury because people still have this weird fucking misconception about Nick Fury and the fact that Sam Jackson's playing him. Let me explain. Yes, Nick Fury in the 1960s made his first appearance as a super spy because super spies were all the rage and everything like that. He's the agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. and he's always been a seasoned-haired white man. Cool, whatever. Fucking let's move on. Several years ago in the early 2000s, when the Ultimate Universe was actually being created, the actual writer and artist for the Ultimates comic book series decided that they wanted to actually, in this alternate universe, change Nick Fury's appearance because they are huge fans of Sam Jackson himself and thought it would be really fucking cool if Sam Jackson played Nick Fury in a future fucking movie, which, of course, at that time, Fox and Marvel had been talking about doing movies for quite a while, especially since fucking they had just released the X-Men movie in 2000, and they were already slated to release other movies, so on and so forth. So they thought the Avengers would eventually make a movie, and they thought it would be really cool if they actually went with the Ultimate Universe with that Nick Fury. Hence the reason why the blackballed Nick Fury existed in the Ultimate Universe. Do you know what they continued to do from there? Kept writing in their alternate universe, to which eventually in the 616 universe, the half-black Nick Fury, actual son of Nick Fury, because they are junior and senior, came into existence because they decided they actually wanted to do that and go further with it. It went from alternate universe into, well, eventually it became canon and such. I don't have a problem with this particular Nick Fury because this Nick Fury is actually fucking cool. And yes, this Nick Fury
makes sense.
Yes, and this Nick Fury, the one that we see in the MCU, is specifically based on the Ultimate Universe's Nick Fury, because that Nick Fury is fucking awesome. So yes, Nick Fury is a fucking exception to the rule. I don't care. They did it the right way. If you were to give me a Colossus in the MCU and he just so happened to be gay, I will argue that, well, in the Ultimate Universe, Colossus was gay. So fuck you.
Doesn't change his character that much, so
It didn't change his character. In fact, the entire time that you're reading the Ultimate X-Men series, you don't even suspect that Colossus is gay. They haven't introduced Shadowcat to the story.
He never had it. Right. I was going to say, wasn't Kitty the only love interest he ever had?
Yeah, in the comic book history, Colossus has only ever really dated one girl throughout the entire fucking franchise, and that was Kitty Pryde.
Mhm.
And when they eventually introduced her into the comic books, she actually started dating Bobby Drake, which made a lot of fans go, what the fuck are you doing? Well, they didn't realize that what was eventually coming was Colossus was actually gay. And he ended up dating Northstar in the Ultimate Universe until eventually.
And you know what? He still felt like Colossus.
And he was still Colossus. He was still fucking Peter Rasputin. There was nothing different about him. Just because he was gay and that really cute scene where Northstar in his hospital bed says, your friend is cute to Jean Grey, causing Colossus to transform into steel form. God damn it, that was adorable. It was fucking funny. I own that comic book. I laugh every time I read it.
You know what, Brockus? You brought up a point that I've made several times, which is the problem I have with gay characters isn't the fact that they're gay. It's the fact that they can't go 2 fucking panels in the entire goddamn comic book without bringing it. Fine, you know, you want to make a character gay, like you just said. That is an example of what I would call a well-written gay character.
Yes. Oh, yes, absolutely.
He was very well done.
It's not the first and last words out of their mouth in every goddamn panel of the comic. They hold actual conversations. They have a day-to-day life. They do what heroes do. And then they might throw in, like you said, that adorable panel of with Northstar and fucking Colossus. That's fine. If you want to just throw in there their love life like that, that's fine. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot that character's gay.
Yeah,
because they're too busy being awesome the rest of the fucking time.
Exactly. I think you hit the nose on the head, man.
But that was kind of that's my only problem with gay characters is like what fucking America Vasquez or whatever the fuck her name was.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You couldn't go a single panel of that fucking comic without her bringing up the fact that she eats pussy with chopsticks.
I have to acknowledge this. American Phoenix for $2. Thorne should have been cast to play Domino. As pleasing as that would have been, unless Thorne could knock it out of the park, like the actress who did play Domino in Deadpool 2, I would have rejected that character entirely because that woman was fucking phenomenal. They didn't do a watered down bullshit fucking SJW'd version of Domino. They gave me on screen Nina Thurman, the sexy, sassy, badass assassin mutant from Weapon X's revised version of what Weapon X was. Holy fuck, I loved her. The only problem I had still is the eye. Just make it black. Just don't
give her the. That's what my thing is, like. Give her the makeup. Just give her the makeup. She can keep the fro. Just give her the makeup.
I don't care about that.
Yeah, I always thought in the comics Domino was like purely ass cheek white, except for that Petey spot around her eye.
Yeah. That's what I said. Give her the makeup. She's a great actress.
What is going on is Nina Thurman was never actually. She was never a white girl technically, nor was she a black girl. She was just simply another person who happened to have an unfortunate mutation. Later on, when they did give her a background, yeah, she's technically a mixed race white girl, but she's still a white girl. And the mutation caused her to have the purely fucking bleached skin with just that one black spot.
As we call it.
basically that was what caused her mutation to make her look that way. It's the same reason why when Nightcrawler was born, he only had 3 fingers, 2 toes, and blue skin. Right. When fucking Mystique was born, she was born with purely blue skin and yellow eyes. Like, there are certain mutants out there whose mutation will affect their exterior look, not just, you know, what they can do after they hit puberty and stuff like that. And this will happen before they even hit puberty. Once they hit puberty, Nightcrawler could teleport. Mystique could actually change her form, stuff like that. Sometimes you'll even have mutants who, like Jean Grey or Mystique, because of a traumatic event, will actually develop their powers before they actually hit puberty. So that's just how that works. Nina Thurman has always been, technically in the comic books, a white girl. What I can't stand now is Gail Simone is now changing that, and apparently Nina Thurman is a black girl and has always been a black girl. I'm like, wait, no, what? You just erased her fucking history. However, I don't care about any of that because Deadpool 2 movie fucking Domino is Domino. My only and one critique still is just give her the black eye. Just do it. I don't care if it's a darker tone than her actual skin, and I don't care if people are going to complain saying like, well, we couldn't even see it in the movie. Shut the fuck up. She's light skinned enough. Just give it a black eye. That's a part of Domino.
Guys, black people aren't actually like straight black.
That's why they call her Domino, paint. Isn't it? I mean, hello.
Oh, yeah. that was her call sign because of that. That was the reason why they called her that. But you know, still, like the fact that they thought that they had to go with the Vitiligo route and make it look like they just slapped on shitty ass old baloney on her face, it just kind of bugged me. But it looked better in the movie, I'll say that much. The shots of her before that, all the little screenshots, the advertisements, it looked like crap. I didn't like it.
I just wanted her to be Misty Knight.
That, you know what? She would have been so much better as Misty Knight because the person they got to play Misty Knight, I kind of don't like her.
She's okay. I can handle that.
Bugs me a little bit, but you know, still the fact that Misty Knight's in a robot arm is pretty fucking awesome.
Well, yeah, and I have to admit that the fact that they actually threw what was his name, like Scattershot or Shatterstar or something.
Oh, Shatterstar.
Yeah,
well, no.
His name is always so hard. Yeah, I
love the fact that
the fact that they actually threw Longshot and Dazzler's kid into that movie, I was like, okay.
I loved the fact that when he died, his blood was actually green, and I'm like, yes, thank you. You actually did the fucking interdimensional creature thing, but at the same time, I thought that whole scene was just all kinds of fucked up and hilarious, and I was just like, you took one of the most badass characters in comic book history and just destroyed him.
I gotta go to bed. Good night, guys.
Good night, Thorn.
Night.
Nighty-night.
But yeah, to be honest, I really don't care that much about a lot of the ethnic changes they've been doing with characters when it comes to comic book. I make complaints because whenever I see it now, I start to wonder, was this an actual decision that they thought would be best because they truly believe this actor is in fact good for the role and will do a great job, much like they did with the chick who plays Domino. And I do agree with Thorn. She would have played a better Misty Knight. That would have been a far more appropriate role for her, especially since, like, dude, people need to know more about Misty. But she still did a fucking bang-up job. She gave me my Domino. She gave me Nina Thurman. I was very upset for a while because I was worried that they weren't going to stay true to the character. They did, and I was happy. I was happy enough. They gave me enough of that character. They were accurate enough with how Domino is, and I was pleased. But there have been several times where I get worried because what they gave us for MJ in Spider-Man is not MJ. That's not MJ in the slightest. Her name is actually Michelle, but she says, call me MJ. And I'm just like, that's Mary Jane's fucking name. God damn it.
Yeah.
Well, and let's not forget that, in certain instances, you get you know, a character's what is an ethnicity swap that makes absolutely no sense. It's like, so is Buffy the Vampire Slayer going to be called Shanae the Vampire Slayer now?
It might not make sense.
It certainly won't be Becky.
Yeah, because I don't think I've ever heard of a black girl with the name Buffy.
No, you're not, and it's probably not going to be called Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's just going to be a part of the franchise. It's a reboot, but it's not Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's like, I don't know.
Well, if they make it a completely different person with a different background and shit, that's legit.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, well, that's what I was saying about reboots earlier. Is like the Thundercats reboot.
Death Note.
Go ahead and bring that back. Well, hang on though. Like the Thundercats reboot, they had all the same character names, but they told enough of a different story. Like, in the original, they crash landed on Earth. No, in the reboot, they crash landed on Earth like thousands of years before or something, which that's fine. So there's still they crash landed on a planet that's not their home planet.
Yeah.
They kept the original character names, but instead of Lion-O being a little kid trapped in a man's body, they split the difference and just made him a teenager, which to me was a better idea, because it wouldn't have fit with the story. And, and like Panthro didn't build the Thunder Tank. They showed that in the past they already had those weapons. He, I guess, just found it and figured out how to fuck with it. So there you go. I mean, enough elements were similar to enjoy it, but they had it different enough that it could be its own standalone thing.
Yeah, and one of the things I greatly enjoyed about the Thundercats reboot was because in the original Thundercats show, it took them a season and a half to introduce Pumaira, Bengali, and Linkso. And when they introduced them, Bengali was their blacksmith. He was the one who would repair their weapons. He would be the one who worked closely with Panthro. And it was because his hammer, his enchanted hammer and stuff, was, this amazing thing that allowed him to be a badass. And then he would also fight in combat. Linkso is an old man and blind, but he still had a lot of great uses. He was actually their strategist as time went on. Even though he couldn't see, they found ways to make him able to actually see. He ended up becoming, despite the use, the lack of use of his eyes, their greatest pilot, because he was able to maneuver shit in a way that no one else could, because he didn't have eyesight, because he was relying on various different types of sensors and shit like that. And then there's poor Pumaira. She was there to just be another hot chick who did fucking nothing. So in the Thundercats reboot, when they introduce her, and she's a former slave who fought in a gladiatorial ring and is a better fighter than most of the main cast, I was like, fuck yeah, give me this Pumaira. But then the season 2 was going to go the route of her apparently becoming a spider chick person thing where she's like hella corrupted and her hatred creates her to be this monster, which they eventually have to slay. And I was just like, oh, I'm glad they didn't continue there, I guess, because that would have ruined the character for me.
Well, I still would have liked if they would at least release it on DVD or something so that I could finish the fucking story.
Yeah, and that would have been fun.
I did want to see, Mum-Ra. They changed him, in ways that I kind of was like, wait, what the fuck? But they kept him similar enough that it was like, okay, yeah, I could live with that.
Yeah, and they did a lot of things that were vastly different than what the original gave us and such, and
I have to say the biggest thing though was the artwork didn't give me eyeball cancer.
There's that, yes. It was actually good artwork. It was good storytelling. Thundera went from being their home planet to being the kingdom itself. The people were not wiped out from a Kryptonian style fucking planet explosion and shit, to which the only people that were left alive were the ones on the one ship Lion-O was on. No. Oh. It was a secret invasion started by Gru, who fucking just took out all of his own people because he's a selfish piece of shit who worked with the lizard people.
No, but actually they did it way better in my opinion, because it being that surprise attack, now you're not sure who is left alive or how many. A lot of them died, but they're focused on that small group. Okay, all these guys are still alive, so that's fine. because that was the core cast in the original. But with this one, the only reason you don't know if any of the other Thundercats are still alive is because they haven't found any of them. It's not that they're not enough of them alive that they could rebuild the kingdom. It's they don't know how many of them are still alive. Which that actually left it open for, yeah, we've got enough people to rebuild the kingdom. We'll be fine, but they left that hanging in the air.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. When it comes to the reboot, when they're the only ones left because blah blah blah, that actually makes more sense because the looming idea that there are still citizens of their kingdoms, their own people and such, that are still out there, they just haven't found them. That made it way more interesting. And now the adventures are, well, let's find our people. Why not?
Well, and they even nodded to, like the old school style Panthro by showing in his younger days he was bald like the original, but then, now that he's older, he's got like that samurai style top knot, which I thought that was actually kind of cool, really.
Yeah.
I mean, the character designs were great as far as I was concerned. It's like his old military uniform and look was what made him look like the original Panthro. But then, time has passed and he's a little older, does things differently, blah, blah, blah. That's fine with me. In this one, Wily Kit and Wily Cat are actually children. They were like homeless kids who would beg, borrow, and steal just to keep themselves afloat. Well, now they're with, Lion-O and the group, more out of necessity than anything else, but there's a reason for them to be there.
Yeah, I actually, I really did also like that too, because the fact that Wily Kit and Wily Cat in the original version, that's how their subspecies is, and that they actually, it was really weird for me to say Wily Kit and Wily Cat are actually adults in the show.
Yeah, they're full-grown adults. How the hell do you figure that?
They are permanent lollies, and it's just fucking weird and stuff like that. Thankfully, though, there was actually a continuation of that series that was approved by the original creators and such, and it's in comic book form, where I guess either magically or because they soft rebooted the whole they are full-grown adults, but that's just how their species always looks kind of thing. Wily Kit and Wily Cat do legitimately grow up, but in the comic book that I had found pieces of it, and I have yet to find a place to download it for free and all that shit. Wily Kit and Wily Cat are actually working for Mumm-Ra because something horrible happened with the Thundercats several years prior, where they ended up breaking up, and both of them were kidnapped and tortured and forced to work for Mumm-Ra and shit. But they eventually rejoined the group like sometime later, and I'm like, wow, this is kind of interesting.
Actually, if I remember, what Wily Cat was like working for Mumm-Ra, but like Wily Kit was a sex slave or some shit, and I'm like, wait, whoa, what? And it was because it was like Lion-O had gone. I think he had gone into the Book of Omens, and because of that, like, I guess to him he was only gone for a short time, but to everybody else it was like 4 or 5 years or something. I'll have to find it and reread it or something, if I remember the story correctly.
Oh man. I am still trying to make sure shit is running smoothly over here. So just give me one second.
Well, we've been at this for a while. Should we go ahead and call it a night?
Yeah, we have been talking for quite a while now. I think maybe we should go ahead and actually cut it down at this point. We've been going for 3 hours. Samaj is still gone. I think something might have happened on his end, or maybe he put himself on mute, walked away for a bit, and then passed the fuck out or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Samaj, you around? Samaj. Simage.
James is spelled
See,
backwards.
Irate Prostate, hopefully next time we're in one of these streams, I'll have my soundboard primed and ready because that's when it gets funnier.
Yeah, I've got one too, man.
I actually went through Magog's latest video and swiped a few snippets. So,
oh yeah, check
that.
this out, and you'll know exactly where it's from. If I can pull this motherfucker up, it's through Steam though. Is yours through Steam?
Yes, SoundPad.
Okay, same thing then.
Feel free to add me on Steam or Discord because I'll gladly swap sound effects with you. I got a fucking bunch of them.
Okay, I had to fucking log in. I hate that shit. It's supposed to remember my password, but of course it doesn't. Okay, here we go. How about this?
That sounds suspiciously like the Blue Oyster Cult to me.
Yep, sure is. I figured I could like rip that part out because Big Fat Brian and I did a review of the Godzilla anime on Netflix, the first part, and now we're going to do the second part. So,
well, you know, you can go in there and edit those sound clips to get them the way you want to. Like you can cut out like I've got quite a few sound clips where they have too long of a pause in it.
Right.
So I'll cut the pause out of it and make it more, just a quick little sound clip where the whole thing is conveyed. Just like I'm trying to remember one specifically that I did recently, but like some of the things Magog says, like he has this long ass pause in there, and it's like, yeah, let's shorten that down where he has only like a second pause or 2 seconds.
Right.
Rather than like 20 seconds where he's just like dead air.
Well, that's what's cool about this thing.
Sound clips over before it's even started.
Yeah, it'll let you snip it and shit too, right? I hadn't even really played with this thing. I was usually getting my stuff out of them and putting them through fucking Audacity. It'd be nice not have to whip Audacity out every time I want to fuck with these noises and shit. So cool, thanks, man.
All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and cut it here. Irate, you actually got a wrench in the channel now, so go ahead and shill some of your stuff out if you want to go ahead and do that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So tonight's show, we were mainly talking about hypocrisy and irony when it comes to people, specifically Anita Sarkeesian, because Anita Sarkeesian is a fucking cunt. And it eventually derailed like crazy, and we started getting off topic a lot. But we eventually kind of went towards the topic again, but then derailed again, but then went off topic again, and then we went back on topic. We went fucking everywhere. Tonight with me was Thorn Midnight, Samaj, Magnus, and Irate Prostate. Unfortunately, Ian Miles Chung did not make it, even though he got the fucking link. But hey, whatever, shit happens.
Well, hey, at least we've got a better derailment record than Amtrak.
Pretty much. Is there anything you guys want to go ahead and shill out, like a upcoming stream that you're going to be doing or whatever?
Every once in a blue moon, when I can get my ass to remember, when I've got a day off, I do watch Magnus suck at video games on YouTube. I'll probably be moving that over to Twitch sometime in the near future, but we'll have to see. I'll have to figure that one out.
Fair enough.
Feel free to follow me on Twitter if you can stand the bad jokes, the dad jokes, and just all around lewd comments. And feel free to add me on Discord if you like. I'm Magnus everywhere I go. Just look for that fugly looking picture you see as my avatar. You'll find me. And on Steam and everywhere else.
Fair enough.
I think Twitter's the only one where I've got that picture Samaj drew of me as a Super Saiyan, but it's the same picture, roughly speaking.
Oh, nice. All right, you got anything?
Yeah. Tuesday I do this thing with on Red Pill Shark Show. I usually pop in and do some. I do Transdimensional. Alex Jones, of course, who's stuck here. Yeah, it's a long story. He's still on the fucking couch. Thursday, do the thing with Big Fat Brian. We're looking at true crime, Staircase on Netflix, and Friday Creamstream. Thanks.
Cool,
and I almost forgot. Don't forget to watch me if you need more Magnus in your life. Feel free to watch me on Renovations channel. Shitlords Anonymous when I do those. So.
Oh yeah, you do show up there a lot. And of course, I'm Brockus. I am one of the co-hosts of the Cunt Stream. You can see me Monday, Sunday, Saturday, Friday. Usually, I'm not around for Wednesdays or Thursdays, but I'm also on Tuesdays. Tomorrow we've got Han Solo. I have no idea what the fucking topic is going to be, but it's probably going to be very similar to what we were talking about tonight. Because Schmeckle does not watch shows he's not actually on. That douche. So that's going to be it for tonight. Thank you for coming on and giving us a few watches and such like that. Donate if you can. We need money so we can have OBS.
Love, peace, chicken grease.
No, I'm fucking around with everybody. No, thank you for coming on, and get the fuck out, cunts.